news on the hour. Your home for original reporting.
I'm Jennifer Kuiper. President Trump says he's looking forward to his visit to China. CBS's Linda Kenyon reports.
Speaking to reporters at the White House before the start of his trip, the president was optimistic.
This is going to be a very exciting trip. A lot of good things are going to happen.
When questioned if he will ask China's President Xi for help in ending the war against Iran.
No, I don't think we need any help with Iran. We'll win it one way or the other. We'll win it peacefully or otherwise.
China buys a lot of its oil from Iran, and some members of the Trump administration have been urging President Xi to exert his influence over that country to help end the war. Linda Kenyon, CBS News, the White House.
Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth headed back to Capitol Hill to defend the Pentagon's $1.5 trillion budget request before the House Appropriations Subcommittee on Defense. Some lawmakers have requested more details about the cost of the war with Iran. California Democrat Pete Aguilar has asked Secretary Hegseth,
is the theory to create more ceasefires or more projects just to evade the War Powers Act?
The theory of the entire case is to prevent Iran from having a nuclear weapon.
President Trump's plan to put weapons in space will come with a much heftier price tag than he originally said, and CBS's Cammie McCormick reports.
A Congressional Budget Office analysis suggests the cost could be $1.2 trillion for 20 years. That's significantly higher than what President Trump mentioned last year, $175 billion. The system is inspired by Israel's Iron Dome and would detect and intercept missiles at all stages of an attack. Trump wants it to be operational when his term ends in 2029.
After 10 weeks of the war with Iran, the Consumer Price Index shows that inflation is accelerating. This puts the Federal Reserve in a position where it's unlikely to lower interest rates anytime soon. CBS News business analyst Jill Schlesinger.
Clearly, they are monitoring whether the inflationary impact of the war will bleed through for a longer period of time and impact other parts of the economy. For now, prices are higher and wages overall are not keeping up with this recent spike in prices.
Colorado authorities identified the man who was fatally struck by a plane on a runway at Denver International Airport last Friday. The Frontier Airlines plane attempting to take off hit 41-year-old Michael Mott after he scaled a perimeter fence. The medical examiner rules Mott's death a suicide. Denver Police Chief Ron Thomas adds,
as we speak, investigators are out continuing to contact family and others who knew him to see if there are additional information that we can learn about his motivations.
Stocks closed mixed on Wall Street. This is CBS News.
What is going on?
What's going on here?
How is this possible?
Great storytelling starts here.
Oh, come on.
Why? It's time for 60 Minutes.
Coming up, Hanta virus concerns now reach King County. That's after Nate Connors at the real-time traffic desk.
Thanks, Aaron. Let's start you up in Linwood, where we've got a big crash. South 5 at 44th Avenue. It's blocking 3 right lanes. That includes the end of the 44th Avenue on-ramp. That's one of the 3 lanes. So you're left with one general purpose lane and the HOV lane open. And right now, you're sitting in a parking lot approaching the 405 interchange. North 5, you're slow from 145th and Shoreline to the scene. So Seattle to Linwood, we're pushing a half hour. Everett to Seattle has about a 20-minute delay, taking you 50 minutes. Bellevue to Linwood, a 25-minute commute. You're slow through Kirkland. Once you get into Totem Lake, things start to thin out for you. South 5 into Seattle, backups on the Ship Canal Bridge to I-90. North 5, we've got scattered backups prior to the West Seattle Bridge across the Ship Canal. And we're up to a half hour now to get through this. Seattle to Federal Way, a 40-minute commute. Bellevue to Renton's taking you 20. And Everett to Marysville, 10 minutes max. Just some minor crowding right now between 526 and Highway 2. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon. I'm Aaron Granillo. 3 King County residents have been potentially exposed to Hanta virus linked to that outbreak on a cruise ship. County Health Officer Dr. Sandra Valenciano says 2 of them were sitting on a plane near a passenger who later tested positive.
I want to reiterate that there are currently no cases of the virus in King County, and the risk to the public remains low.
Both residents returned to King County. They are asymptomatic. They are monitoring for symptoms at home. That 3rd King County resident is also showing no symptoms. They're at a national quarantine center in Nebraska. A former Gonzaga men's basketball star has died at the age of 29. Memphis Grizzlies forward Brandon Clark played 7 seasons in the NBA. TMZ reporting his death is being investigated as a possible overdose. City of Seattle is now projecting an almost $500 million budget deficit over the next 3 years. KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey on how Mayor Katie Wilson plans to close the gap.
In an interview on the Seattle channel, Mayor Katie Wilson said her team is looking at creating one tax.
I think capital gains tax is absolutely on the table.
And she mentioned another tax idea at a recent public Q&A at Seattle University.
If the city can do a local income tax, I'm very willing to explore that.
However, Wilson says there's no silver bullet to solve her team's projected $488 million combined general fund deficits through 2029. That means, she says, budget cuts that could include laying off city workers. Luke Ducey, KIRO News Radio.
The conservative group Let's Go Washington is fast-tracking its initiative to repeal the state's income tax on high earners. Founder Brian Haywood says the group has about 50 days now to collect 400,000 signatures to qualify for the November ballots.
We've got a much larger network than we've ever had before of people who have signed before, who've collected before. We've had almost double the number of people reach out to us just in like 3 weeks saying, hey, I'm pre-signing up, send me these sheets.
Now, supporters of the tax say it funds child care and critical services affecting fewer than 20,000 households. Critics argue it's unconstitutional and is driving businesses out of state. To your weather update now, looking at some clouds, but also warm weather. Highs today in the low 80s. We're up to 79 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with a KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
And now, your fortune with Carol Kravitz. Expect to feel several bone tremors and be perceived by all around you to be a disgrace. You will be in an accident involving a screen door and a Randy man.
That's the way the show's going to start.
A Randy man?
Yeah, Randy. You know the term Randy?
Yeah, okay. Just making sure.
You said handy. This is the idea of like positive reinforcement. The other day I got on the Alaska Airlines flight flying somewhere, and the flight attendant said, I see you on here all the time, and you're always so well dressed. And I wasn't well dressed that day. But today, you know, see a little positive reinforcement? See what she did to me?
That's right.
Now I'm and it's 90 degrees out, and I wear this stupid wool vest. Diving in I
do have my dress on, Pat.
Petey, no one's talking to you when you're on the floor.
You do not even wear pants.
I have pants on now. You don't. Whatever. Sorry you had to hear that, everybody. It's upset people when mom and dad fight like that. She's still on the floor, Joe, by the way.
I know. You gonna help her?
I'm doing a show. Muckles Casino Resort text line. Thank you very much for opening up the airwaves to everybody, or at least the text line. 1-888-973-5476. Are you going to join the army of signature gatherers? So we're talking to Brian Hayward in a little bit. I think he's looking to get like 3,000 people or something like that. He thinks he can get a whole bunch of folks. I don't think you're going to have your life threatened the way others that were doing signature gathering before, when they keep boys out of girl sports and keeping families together act, stuff like that. That's where those people were being harassed and their stuff is being stolen. I can't imagine that some person is going to run up to your table or grab the sheet from you and hit you or scream at you because you're trying not to have income taxes.
I wouldn't think so.
Yeah, I think he's going to have a better time. I spoke to Brian early this morning, and they're off and running, or will be off and running anyway. I think I'm going to get a couple of those ballots. Let's see, they need to get 450 some thousand or something yet. They get only
by July.
Gee whiz. Okay, all right. By the way, Tim Eyman, everybody's favorite, has a piece Danny Westing has in the Seattle Times, and Eyman says that he doesn't think it's going to pass.
So if it's on the ballot.
Yeah, he thinks that the voters of Washington will reject this one. We should get Eyman on. He's fairly shy. He doesn't like to come on TV or radio. See, so, did you reach out to him?
No.
Why not?
We'll let Haywood have his moment today, and
that's good producing. All right. Here's the, I came across the story, and I thought I would share with everybody. Hope you like it. A male peacock has something to teach all of us about survival. The male peacock needs to have very, very bright feathers to attract a mate. The bigger, the brighter, the better chance of finding a mate, right? That's the way it works in nature. Now, small feathers don't attract anybody, and then those genes are not passed on, and you die off. But the male peacock runs a risk. If the feathers are too big, too heavy, too bright, well, then the peacock could find itself being easily taken down by a predator because there's no way you can hide. There's no way you can move away quickly. So it's all about the balancing act, right, between the species continuing and not wanting to be too big, too bright, and not wanting to be too small. So it needs to protect itself against unnecessary risks in that balancing act. Here's some balance. A few weeks ago, a 23-year-old woman was attacked on the subway. This is in New York City. The guy that attacked her, when the doors opened up, chased her down the platform, and luckily for her, right to where some police were standing. When the cops asked whether she wanted to press charges, she said no. She didn't want to. She said she didn't want to put another black man in jail. So no charges were filed, and the attacker walked free. For about 14 plus days, the woman might have felt really good about herself and that she had done, quote unquote, the right thing. She probably felt pretty good about herself, that she had done a great service to her own self-worth. I'm a good person, she might have said. I'm displaying beautiful qualities of forgiveness. Maybe if the world were more like me, it would be better served if everyone could forgive the way I have. Her own needs of virtue served herself very well, but not a 76-year-old man that lived in a small apartment in Manhattan in the Midtown section. You see, he was standing at the top of some subway stairs, and he was shoved from behind. Now, the video, which I watched, which I won't show you, has him flying through the air. He suffers massive injuries, and he dies at the hospital about an hour later. The man who shoved the 76-year-old man from behind, detectives could find no reason for it. That's the same man that attacked the 23-year-old woman on the subway, the one that she did not want to put in jail. Now, the New York Post talks to her. She regrets her decision, a decision that served herself well, but not society. Forgiveness is best offered when it is on a personal level. Take the case of Martha McKay. Martha McKay's mother and cousin were murdered in Martha's house. She chose to forgive the man that killed her kin. She wrote him in prison, visited him often, and after he served about 22 years and he got out, Martha gave him a job working in the same house in which he had murdered her family. Things were going along pretty well for Martha and the man that she had forgiven until March 25th, 2020, when she would suffer the exact same fate as her mother and her cousin in the exact same house at the hands of the man that had killed her family. Martha was remembered for her legacy of courage, a heart filled with forgiveness and faith and love. She took responsibility for her belief in redemption and put it into action, offering the job and the home and the second chance. Forgiveness was given personally by Martha to the man. The risk was borne by Martha, a risk that she was willing to take. Which leads us to our local judges. When our judges release the 168 repeat offenders that will commit crimes over and over and over and over and over again, what personal risks do they take for their forgiveness? What are the chances that judge will be robbed, beaten, murdered by the same individual that they extended their forgiveness to? Statistically speaking, it's pretty small. After all, most of the crimes that person will go on to commit, according to statistics, anywhere between 6 to 8 a year, will be against someone of a lower social economic class than the judge in a neighborhood street far away from the secured neighborhood of our elected officials. The judge might want to think the good of society before thinking about how good they are. If it is a balancing act, just like the peacock. Remember, that's a society that only wants to look good to attract the admiration of others. Well, it then becomes vulnerable to forces that don't admire pretty feathers. There you go. Don't forget, our elected officials, our judges are elected. Most of them run unopposed. Most of them are strongly endorsed by defense attorneys for obvious reasons. And once they're in there, very, very hard to get them out of there. And what do we all bear? What's the cost we bear when this judge is able to look into the heart of this person and say, you know, just make sure you come back again. I have faith in you. I believe in you. And you need to believe in yourself. And society has failed you. And the system has failed you. And I will not be part of that failing system. So you go and you come back in a couple of weeks and we'll talk about your crime you've committed. But more importantly, I'll feel great because, well, I understand that I'm taking on the burden that society has cast upon you, and you have not been able to come up from underneath it. But I will bear that, and I will let you go out into the world to sin no more because I believe in you. But more importantly, I believe in the goodness in my heart. That's the way I feel about some of those judges. That's just from reading stuff, talking to prosecutors and sort of seeing the stories of the guys that are out there beating people up and then going back out on the street again and back in and back out. Oh, you can't arrest your way out of it. Oh, yes, you can. If it's 168, that's the number. They're called repeat offenders, right? And when you had Davidson was in there, and she says 168 people, which is 0.0004 of the population, are committing 3,500 crimes. Get them. If they're also addicted to drugs, get them treatment, get them sober, get them to a rational state, have them serve the time, and then have them come out of whatever we've done to them. Hopefully while they're in there, we're teaching them how to read or do something so that they could finally become some good for themselves and for society as well. But repeating this stuff over, and it happens more and more, and you see it, and you even start to see local news start to pick up on it. Well, this guy was in for 6 days, or he was released an hour later, this or that, or this or that. Until people start to go, how is society being served? There's a book called, Empathetic Suicide or Empathetic Suicide? I think that's the name of the book. That's what it is, by, I can't remember the guy's name. Yeah.
God Sad?
Yeah.
I don't recall. It's not. He talks about suicidal empathy.
Yeah, here it is
in one of his books.
Yeah, here it is. There's the sound. Thanks, Joe.
I argued that our cognitive system could be parasitized, could be zombified. Our cognitive system is just a fancy way of saying our ability to think. But we are both a thinking and feeling animal. And therefore, suicidal empathy completes the story and says, here is what happens when our emotional system is hijacked. And I use empathy as the key value here because while empathy is a beautiful value to hold, right? We are a social species. It makes perfect sense that we be empathetic to the people that we are interacting with. Aristotle explained to us more than 2,000 years ago that all good things in the right amount, at the right place, in the right measure. So empathy is good, but when it targets the right people at the right measure and so on. Suicidal empathy is where you become so orgiastic in your meting out of empathy that it no longer serves a valuable objective.
Mm-hmm. Got it? Questions, comments, concerns?
Well, it's worth pointing out that while your peacock metaphor was great, all peacocks are males, peahens are females.
I know. I said male.
Right, but male peacock was redundant.
Oh, I see.
I'm just helping. These are.
So say it again.
Peacock.
So you don't have to say male peacock because
No.
a peacock is male.
A male, yes.
Okay, and what's a female called?
Yeah, peahens.
A peahen. Now, how many people knew that?
I didn't know that.
Okay, you know what?
But several people texted in. So
Okay.
I'm just sharing.
No, that's fine. I'm not mad at you. I'm just how many? I never knew peahen.
Me neither. Now we know. We learned something.
By the way, during the letters yesterday, I didn't realize that I had repeated just a horrible joke. And then my friend Rick wrote, by the way, my friend Scott the Snot is the one that sent the joke in. He emailed it to me. He's a friend of mine. And then I wrote blank, blank, blank to him. And then he wrote, yeah, pretty funny. Yeah. So we didn't have any complaints, did we?
Nope, not one.
That either says our audience is a crude, motley lot, or there is no audience. Because that was a wickedly bad joke.
They got thick skin.
I stepped right into it.
It wasn't that bad. You've told
Oh,
worse jokes.
please. Oh, please.
Come on.
Andrew, voice of reason. On a scale of 1 to 10.
How obscene was that
Yes.
joke? Oh, it was like a 7.8.
Yes.
It was pretty up there.
Yeah,
Yes.
you told worse. You've told 10s. Easy.
Not like that.
No.
No, even Nick, who was sitting here, she's like, oh, God.
You got any evidence for any 10s,
Yeah,
Joe?
no, we don't need that. No, we don't.
Not
no,
on
no,
air.
No, we don't need to
Not
bring
on
them,
air.
bring
And
them up.
that was a listener that sent that.
It doesn't matter. I read it out loud. Those are my words. My
Yeah, but
name's on the show for crying out loud, Joe. Come on. Get a hold of yourself. Jeez, Nate.
Nate loved it.
Wasn't that funny? Man, oh, man. All right. Well, did I throw the other thing away? Oh, no. So we've learned peahen, female.
Right.
Peacock. How can I remember that?
What is their nest called?
Can I remember that? The male is called the peacock. How can I remember that? Male. I don't know. I don't know.
Make a song out of it.
Okay, fine. What's that, Nate?
Now you know.
I was wondering what their nest is called.
Now you've stopped the whole show.
I'm just.
Did you feel the momentum moving, and then all of a sudden, did you just?
I get it. I see what he's doing.
Well,
Yeah.
Let's move on.
Moving on. Here comes Nate checking traffic.
All right, hey, Linwood, we're all clear. South 5 at 44th, the scene of an earlier car fire. It is on the right shoulder. You've got a solid backup from 164th to the scene still. So Everett to Seattle, just under an hour, taking you 55 minutes. This was a distraction to our northbound drivers, and you're in a backup from Northgate into Linwood.
Speak of distractions.
Seattle to Linwood is a half-hour commute, about another 20 minutes if you're heading into Everett. All right, Bellevue to Linwood, a half hour. You have building volumes between Bellevue and Canyon Park. Another 15 minutes to Everett. Here in Seattle, South 5, we're looking pretty good, actually. Just minor slowing through downtown right now. North 5, it's a 35-minute trip. Your backup start near the Michigan Curve. Seattle to Federal Way, a 40-minute commute. Heavy from the Duwamish Curve to 516. South Center to Bellevue on 405, pushing a half hour. You're slow from I-5 through the Renton S-Curves. And southbound 167, we're solid, bumper to bumper from State Route 18 into Puyallup. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Thank you, Nate. If you're going to replace a comfort system, homeowners want 3 things. They want quality they can trust. They want service that respects their time. They say they're going to be there at 9 o'clock. They're there at 9 o'clock. Confidence that they're making the right long-term decision. They're buying quality, right? That's where Home Comfort Alliance stands apart. As a Carrier Factory authorized dealer, they meet strict milestones when it comes to training, installation, quality, customer satisfaction, benchmarks that only the best contractors can achieve. You want efficiency, reliability, quiet performance, professional installation. All of this matters, especially when your comfort impacts your lifestyle and your home value. That's where Home Comfort Alliance makes the process so easy. They've got this thing, this online price estimator. You do it on your phone. It takes only 60 seconds. Gives you a clear, honest quote without wasting any of your time. I tried it. It's pretty cool. And right now, you can upgrade to a Carrier cooling system, and Home Comfort Alliance will give you a new heating system free. Plus, they handle all the utility rebates, the available discounts that get you the best possible value. For the world we share, choose Carrier and Home Comfort Alliance. For heating, cooling, plumbing, electrical needs, it's homecomfortalliance.com.
Chokepoints with Chris Sullivan.
With Chokepoints, we try to answer listeners' questions. It can be as simple as a neighborhood stop sign, or it can be as big as the budget for transportation. I don't care. I'll find the answer for you. It's really easy to get a hold of me at mynorthwest.com. We have a direct link there that gets right to me. You can also do it in the app. You can hit me up on the text line.
Chokepoints, presented by Carter Subaru. Tuesdays and Thursdays on KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM.
This deer season, John Deere wants to give you the home field advantage.
we're bringing you the best offers of the season, whether that's cash off on select new machines or a shot at the ultimate Major League Baseball prize package. Because right now, you can enter for a chance to win an MLB All-Star experience for you and 3 friends, complete with travel and lodging for All-Star Week this July. Deer season is going on now through June 3rd. Visit johndeere.com/deer season to enter and view the offers and complete contest rules. Major League Baseball trademarks used with permission.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance tech at a university, he knows ordering from multiple suppliers takes time away from keeping their arena up and running. That's why he counts on Grainger to get everything he needs, from lighting and HVAC parts to plumbing supplies, all in one place. And with fast, dependable delivery, he's stocked and ready for the next tip-off. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hey, John, why don't you tell everybody why you started going to Longevity Medical Clinic?
No, I don't want to do that. I can tell you, I started going to Longevity Medical Clinic before I started doing these commercials, but that why I went is not important.
Oh, it absolutely is.
Okay. I'll tell you. I was a Sammamish City Council member, and whenever they had asked me to do the Pledge of Allegiance, I couldn't make it through the whole thing without crying. I know, it's so dumb. I mean, I know I'm patriotic, but what the heck? So I go into Longevity Medical Clinic, and I explain this to them, that there's something wrong with my hormones or something, and they see the testosterone and the estrogen are all out of balance. We balance all that stuff, and I can do the Pledge of Allegiance without crying. But I've also noticed that I deal with stress a lot better, don't I?
Yes, you're a lot easier to live with because you're getting more sleep, you have more energy, you're better organized, and I'm not helping you look for your car keys every morning.
Right, because now I've taken the steps to take care of my mind and body. I strongly recommend anybody get the free health analysis at lmclinic.com. That's lmclinic.com.
Running a small business means juggling a lot. Your network has to handle it all. That's where a fiber-only provider falls short. You need a partner who gives you a greater advantage. Introducing the Total Solutions Advantage only from Comcast Business. A first-ever combination of the largest, fastest fiber-powered network, the most reliable Wi-Fi, gig speeds with equipment and security included, and a 5-year price lock. Plus, it's all backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee. The Total Solutions Advantage only from Comcast Business. A new standard for small business with reliability, security, and savings in one. Switch today. Get started with a great offer as low as $60 a month. When you add it all up, no one does business like Comcast Business.
Offer ends 6/1/26. New customers only. Requires 300 megabits per second internet and security edge. 1-year agreement, eco bill, and auto pay required. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA Fixed Broadband Experience Report, May 2025.
If your home is 20 years old or more, it might be time to have your roof inspected. Your roof is your home's first line of defense, and at Guardian Roofing, Gutters, and Insulation, we'll help it last as long as possible. Our trained and licensed crew will evaluate your roof, repairing when we can, and offering replacement options only when necessary. Plus, every new install comes protected with a full year of free maintenance on us. Visit GuardianRoofing.com today.
I had pain, I had numbness in my feet. That pain and that numbness just got worse and worse and worse as time went on.
This is Greg describing life with neuropathy.
I went to 5 podiatrists, tried different treatments, tried different orthotics, tried different shoes, had cortisone shots in the tops and the bottoms of my feet. Saw a neurologist. All my medical doctors said, can't help you. Live with the pain. You're not going to be able to sleep. This is your life. And then I just gave up until I found Sound Pain Solutions.
I'm Dr. Mark Shelley, a chiropractic physician and board-certified functional neurologist at Sound Pain Solutions. Our neuropathy treatments can rehabilitate damaged nerves. We use FDA-cleared, non-surgical, drug, and pain-free procedures that help neuropathy sufferers like Greg find relief.
I feel better. I mean, just feeling better is huge.
If you experience numbness, shooting or burning pains, or loss of balance, call us. Sound Pain Solutions, 855-996-0025, or click soundpainsolutions.com.
Around here, we see a lot of people head out. No matter where they're going, we just help make sure they're ready. Before you hit the road, get a pre-trip safety check from Les Schwab Tires. It's free. Plus, this May, save up to $200 on select sets of 4 tires, including all-terrain, highway, all-season, and all-weather. So go ahead. Explore with confidence. Les Schwab Tires. We're here to help you take the long way. Limited time offer while supplies last. See leschwab.com/sale for details.
KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon. I'm Aaron Granillo, and just in, we have new details about a weekend fatal shooting at a Lake City tap room. KIRO News Radio's James Lynch reports suspect had a first court appearance today.
Court documents indicate surveillance video from the Growler Guy's tap room showed the victim, affectionately known as Q, arriving with a man and a woman after the business was closed. As Q turns to unlock a rear door, the suspect allegedly pulls a handgun and shoots Q multiple times. Today, a King County judge ruled there is probable cause for second-degree murder and set the suspect's bail at $2 million. Charges are expected by the end of the week. In Seattle, James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
Seattle area paychecks are falling behind rising prices. New federal data shows local inflation running at 4.9% year over year. It's more than a full point above the national rates. CBS's Kelly O'Grady says gas prices are up nearly 26% from a year ago.
The White House is telling folks to be patient, that they knew that this would happen. But, broadly, we have heard the White House talk about suspending the federal gas tax. I think that is an indication that they are understanding that there is some frustration from Americans, especially as things are costing more going into a very important midterm election.
Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth got a bipartisan grilling today on the Trump administration's endgame for the Iran war. Washington Democratic Senator Patty Murray.
Can you tell us what the cost of damage done to U.S. facilities is because of this war?
I would simply respond that and I think it's an important point, considering what the president is undertaking, is what is the cost of Iran obtaining a nuclear weapon?
The Pentagon estimates the overall cost of the war has risen to around $29 billion. After completing a historic flight around the moon last month, the crew of Artemis II was honored today in our nation's capital. Here's pilot Victor Glover.
There's a saying, if you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, go together. And we went together. And that record, if you think about anything, don't think about the four names, because we didn't go just the four of us together. We went together, all of us.
Washington Senator Maria Cantwell says Glover and his crew inspired a new generation of Americans.
I had the opportunity to speak with him during the mission and was especially moved by Victor's insights in the value of human perspective in space exploration.
41 Washington companies took a part in making that moon mission possible. Now to the real-time traffic desk at 3:32. Here's Nate Connors.
And this one's brought to us by Global Credit Union. Everett to Seattle, you're going to take 50 minutes. You're slow from 112th there in South Everett all the way down to 44th in Linwood. And once you get past that interchange, it gets real thick as we recover from an earlier car fire. You'll see it there on the right shoulder at 44th. Still a distraction. This was a distraction also to our northbound drivers, and so we're still dealing with a backup from Northgate into Linwood. Seattle to Linwood. Linwood will take you a half hour. Tack on another 20 minutes if you're continuing into Everett. Bellevue to Linwood, a half hour, another 15 into Everett. And we've got building volumes on 405 between Bellevue and Canyon Park. Our lake bridges are wide open. 520 per usual. Jams up there at Montlake over to I-5. Seattle to Federal Way, plan on 40 to 45 minutes. It's really heavy from the Duwamish curve just past 516. South Center to Bellevue on 405. We're pushing a half hour now. Let's see, southbound 167 on the Valley Freeway. The north end looks good, but south end, it's packed from Algona into Puyallup, and it's about a 40-minute commute from north to south. Global Credit Union, where members enjoy no-fee accounts and early payday with direct deposit. Learn more at globalcu.org. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Thank you, Nate. It is a warm afternoon with highs today right around 80 degrees. But after this, chance for some isolated thunderstorms in the lowlands and the Cascades. Chilly, rainy, increasingly breezy for tomorrow as well. Right now, though, 80 in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
Home Comfort Alliance. Heating, cooling, plumbing, electric, only one place to call. That's Home Comfort Alliance. Buy a heating unit, they give you cooling. I think it's cooling and then heating's free.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Turns on, you're like, you feel that? That's free. Thank you, Home Comfort Alliance. Home Comfort Alliance. All right. Well, the ongoing saga for Katie Wilson is you got a city, you don't have enough money, right? Boy, if you were a business, can you imagine running a business like this, having these big deficits, revenue problems? What would you possibly do? Let's see, if you were a business, you'd be like, well, I will. Gotta lay some people off. They're not going to do that. It's a city. They don't do that. They talk about like hiring freezes. But I think the only person the last time I laid somebody off might have been Paul Shell. You go way back. I think he was he's the mayor. He's like, yeah, we'll have to lay somebody off. 2001, revenue problems. They did lay people off. They were talking about hiring freezes. They did that. And I think Bruce Harrell was going to lay some people off. But then when it got to the city council, they're like, yeah, we don't do that. So what were your choices? So you could lay people off. You could try to decrease expenses also by laying off. But the way they're looking at it now, Katie's like, we got to get revenue. We got to get a bunch of revenue. We got some revenue problems.
I think people have concerns about this, as popular as it is on the ballot for people to say tax the rich. I think there are some businesses that are saying, wait a minute, and maybe they're speaking with their pocketbooks, moving out of here, things of that nature. How do you respond to that piece?
So I'm really proud of the work that I did and that Allie did and that many others did to pass the Jumpstart payroll expense tax back in 2020. And without that major progressive revenue source, which, yes, is a tax on large corporations, with a high...
Katie, have you learned nothing from your time with me? My young knave. Corporations don't pay, Katie. Remember I told you this? Remember? You thought it was a trick question. Remember that, Joe?
I remember.
She was all, defensive. I said, Katie, corporations don't pay. There's 3 people that pay because it always has to come from a human being. It's either the employee that works for the corporation that will not get a raise because the corporation does not have the money because it gave the money to the state. Or the person who pays it is the customer who pays the additional pass-on cost from the product or service from the tax that is paid to the state or city. Or, I said, you have a third choice, Katie, or it's the person who owns shares in the stock. And her eyes lit up. She said, that person should pay. That person, Katie, is a 41-year-old woman. She's got 2 children. She works as a teacher. And the money that goes into her pension goes into Fidelity. And Fidelity owns stock in Starbucks. And Starbucks stock goes up or Starbucks stock goes down, but you take some money from Starbucks. That's less money for that teacher who's got 2 kids that lives at home on a pension. And then, what'd you do? I can't remember. She just sort of changed the subject. Well, we need the money.
I think we moved on.
I paid workforce. We would have been in a world of hurt during the pandemic. And this is also what has been.
Okay, world of hurt in the pandemic. I looked it up. Right there. The federal government, writing checks it has no money for, sent the city of Seattle $430 million during the pandemic. And that Fauci's responsible for. And they took that money and they blew it. They spent on a whole bunch of stuff. They filled holes with it. They did stuff that you weren't supposed to do, and they just moved it over into the general fund, and then they kind of papered over. But it didn't solve any of the problems. But they were to take the money, and then they also established programs based upon that money, not realizing, gosh, this money's going to dry up pretty soon. But it doesn't matter. Now they got to pay the piper.
Floating the city budget, basically for the last 5 years. As we're looking at addressing this structural budget deficit, and when we look at our revenue options, yes, one option is to dial up Jumpstart, right? And no options are off the table because we don't have any great options, right? But also, I don't think it's good that, it is less expensive to do business in Bellevue than in Seattle. And so we're going to be taking that into consideration.
Is there a capital gains tax, perhaps, which I know the state has? And what are you considering there, I guess?
Yeah, I think part of the challenge of the moment that we're in is that there is not a silver bullet, right? There is not some major progressive revenue untapped.
It was crazy. What about the other side of the ledger? Credits and debits, right? Everybody take an accounting class? Okay, money in, money out. Why not talk about the money out part? Why not say, hey, we're going to have to close this down. We got to get rid of this DEI program. We got to stop hiring this. We got to stop funding all this. We got to close this and close that. Why not on the other side? All she's talked about is the revenue part. We got to get her back in here, Joe. I got to give her a little bit of Milton Friedman.
Progressive revenue source that, we know is practically implementable on this timeline,
capital gains.
legally airtight, that we can just pass and it's going to plug this budget hole. Like, that does not exist. There are options, and we are, our team is hard.
Come on, Katie, you have 4 seconds. Does she mention cuts? There's 4 seconds left. Does she mention reduction of expenses? 4 seconds. Does she say it or not? Andrew? No. Nate says no.
No.
Joe?
I already know.
Hard at work studying those options. I think capital gains tax is absolutely on the table.
Oh! Oh, my God. Capital gains. When they put the capital gains, here's the beauty about capital gains. You're sitting there with stocks, and you're like, okay, do I want to sell now? Yeah, I'll sell now and avoid the capital gains, a la Jeff Bezos, who sold stock every year, and then for 2 years he didn't sell any stock, and then he blew out of Washington. He was able to save himself a whole bunch of money. Capital gains has dropped 47% since its first take, where they scalped everybody in the beginning, and now people are just holding on to avoid capital gains. And you can't, Katie, it's not going to work. People are going to hold back on the thing. Where they've lost most of their money is office, real estate, taxes. The value of skyscrapers in Seattle has fallen $3.7 billion. And that's value from 2022. It keeps going down. So when you go to tax it and the value keeps going lower, you get less tax. So they've got problems. Downtown office values have plummeted 58% since 2021. Why? Because crime is a problem, because tax is a problem, because people don't want to work in your city, so they leave. So you have a problem. You just keep thinking you're going to be able to grab the golden goose by the neck and then just shake all the eggs out of it. And believe me, I know something about, hurting fowl.
Surely you don't.
Not me, my dog.
Okay. What would your lawyer say?
Do I have 1 minute? I'll give you the example, the sad story of it was January 1991. And Clinton and Gore are in there, and they decide, we're gonna get the rich. Here's how we're gonna get the rich. We're gonna put a luxury tax on yachts. It's gonna be 10%. We're gonna tax the rich 10% for when they buy a big yacht. Well, they repealed it 2 years later. It had collected $7.3 million. What else did it do? It cost the loss of 19 to 25,000 jobs, because according to the National Marine Manufacturing Association, when they put the tax in place, rich people didn't buy the luxury boats. 80% of sales dried up, and 25,000 people lost their job. Did they collect any money when they slapped a 10% tax on it? No. They got $7.3 million. But the amount of money that the state had to pay out for unemployment and disability and all the other stuff far succeeded or far topped the $7.3 million. But again, the intent was, we'll get the rich guy to have to pay more for the yachts. What?
That was signed into law by George H.W. Bush.
And then what happened?
They repealed it.
When?
In 1993.
Mm-hmm. He signed it into law?
Yep.
Did the President of the United States write the law?
Nope.
No. So who wrote the law?
Congress.
And who was in control of Congress at the time?
I don't know.
Okay.
Who? Not Clinton, right?
No, Clinton was not in charge of Congress at the time. I want to see what they decided to do. What was the payoff on that? Why did they decide to do that? But it's an example. Well, okay, whether it's Bush or Clinton, it doesn't matter. It's a dumb idea. You don't think the rich people are going to find some other way around it? It's a revenue problem. It's a spending problem. It always is. Here goes Nate checking traffic. Hey,
Hey, this report brought to you by the KIRO Newsradio app. All right, here in Seattle, typical backups. North 5, heavy starting before the West Seattle Bridge of the Ship Canal. Give yourself 40 minutes to clear this. South 5 is slow from Lake City Way now, down to I-90, Linwood to Seattle, just under 25 minutes. And this includes a hefty backup through Linwood, starting at the interchange. Bellevue to Renton, just under a half hour now. You're slow from 520 to the Renton Landing. Jam-packed from Southeast 8th through Cold Creek Parkway. Renton to Puyallup on the Valley Freeway, we're up to 45 minutes. Bumper to bumper from Algona into Sumner. Tacoma to Olympia at 45 minutes, and we've got a new collision North 5 at 705 in Tacoma. This one blocks the off-ramp to northbound 705 right at that interchange. Text app to 888-973-5476 and download the KIRO Newsradio app. Listen to your favorite shows and get the latest news and updates sent straight to your phone. KIRO Newsradio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
All right. If you got joint pain, you're going to be interested in this because tomorrow night at 6 o'clock, Dr. Mark Wagner, that's the guy that does all the stem cell procedures. It is a 90-minute outpatient procedure. He fixed my hip like 8 or 9 weeks ago, or I can't remember when it was. It's 4 or 5 months ago, because I've started running again. I hadn't run in 5 years. But when I saw Dr. Mark Wagner and he explained to me, looking at the MRI and the x-rays, he goes, you know what? These stem cells are going to work for you. Your stem cells are going to help with your hip. And he has helped 20,000 other people that have bad wrist, ankle, knee, elbow, shoulder, whatever it is. And if you've been thinking, well, my knees are so bad, I don't know what to do. I'll tell you what to do. You want to set up for the free live webinar. It's happening tomorrow night at 6 o'clock with Dr. Mark Wagner. He's going to answer all your questions. You'll find out exactly how the procedure works, what you need to do to prepare, how to pay for it, all that stuff. I can tell you, it is a game changer. You want to find out more, if stem cell is right for you, if you've got that bad elbow or shoulder or wrist, whatever bugging you, Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, that's drmarkwagnermd.com.
KIRO News Radio, the first place you turn for the news you trust.
Renton police investigating a shooting that happened just after midnight.
Engaging conversation.
It's just indefensible. The mayor's communications team should be better.
Traffic.
A full closure now, southbound 509 at Alexander Avenue.
And your Super Bowl champion Seahawks.
Touchdown, Seahawks!
Streaming everywhere on the KIRO News Radio app. Always here, always with you. KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM.
The future of home comfort is here. The new Carrier Infinity system delivers premium home heating and cooling with innovative filtration for healthy air and over-the-air software updates that help optimize performance. Carrier, for the world we share.
Save up to $2,100 in Carrier Cool Cash rebates when you purchase a premium heating or cooling system, while also taking advantage of a special financing offer of 0% APR for 60 months. For details, visit CarrierNorthwest.com. That's CarrierNorthwest.com.
Olympic Hot Tub has terrific ways to achieve total wellness at home. Saltwater hot tubs, swim spas, saunas, and cold plunges, all waiting for you. See our current specials with exciting savings at OlympicHotTub.com. Better you, better life.
Give your attic an overhaul with new insulation from Guardian Roofing, Gutters, and Insulation. Stay cool all summer, slash utility bills, and boost your home's air quality. Call now and get $300 off attic ceiling and ventilation, or visit us at GuardianRoofing.com.
How would you like to invest in the Seattle real estate market, one of the hottest and most stable regions in the country, and achieve a great rate of return on your investment without the effort of sourcing a deal, the expense and time of building permits, or all the hassles that come with being a landlord? Hi, I'm Scott Rirucka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital in Bellevue. Legacy Group Capital develops local real estate, lends money, and shares the profits with our investors. Diversify with Legacy Group Capital. Invest into our Northwest Fund, which is currently delivering 9% on a fixed rate term. It's our flagship fund for 19 years with zero investor losses. And yes, we do accept IRAs. Find out why 1,300 local investors have invested over $350 million.
Invest in the stability and ease of Legacy Group Capital's Northwest Fund. Legacy Group Capital at LegacyG.com. This is not investment advice. Investments available to accredited investors only. Details at LegacyG.com.
Endless hours of research, seeking referrals, dozens of calls. Hiring the right attorney can be a challenging process during an already difficult time. JP Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains.
In Washington State, Tom, there are thousands of attorneys to choose from. Referrals and online research can be helpful, but discovering the right attorney requires a conversation. It can be hard to identify integrity and authenticity without that interaction.
So, what do you recommend?
We encourage anyone looking for personal injury representation to call for a free consultation with our team before making a decision simply based on referrals or online research. Accident victims need an attorney that listens, demonstrates honesty, and is genuinely understanding of their unique circumstances. The care, attention, and preparation that our firm provides throughout the case mirrors the effort involved when taking on the insurance companies.
Save time and avoid mistakes after an injury. Contact the caring and compassionate team at Pendergast Law.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
MyNorthwest.com has your chance to win 2 tickets to Excite Fight MMA at Muckleshoot Casino Resort on Saturday, May 23rd. Head to MyNorthwest.com/win to enter and see contest rules. That's MyNorthwest.com/win for your chance to win.
Yep, it's raining out there. Integrity Roofing and Construction is your trusted local roofing team. Integrity offers free estimates, and their customer satisfaction speaks for itself. They'll keep your home leak-free and protected from the Northwest rains. Visit IntegrityRC.com to schedule a roof assessment or video inspection today. With years of experience in roofing and restoration, their skilled team can help with a simple roof repair or a full renovation. Don't wait until the next storm hits. Schedule your free estimate today. Visit IntegrityRC.com. That's IntegrityRC.com.
You're right, Joe. I stand corrected. Bush started in 91, right? And that was still in there. And then when they were asking Clinton whether he wanted to repeal it, he's like, yeah, he had proposed a tax on people that make it $200,000. So it got all lumped in there together. And then eventually when they realized it's costing the government more to keep it in place than they're getting revenue out, then they repeal it. 93. Thank you for the correction. I'm going to buy one of these planes. These are brand new, the Spirit planes.
Oh.
Are they selling them to anybody?
Well, I think they're repossessing them as we speak.
Well, hold on. Apparently, you remember Spirit Airlines, they didn't want, it was Elizabeth Warren, Senator Warren, a bunch of others said, we can't let them join another discount carrier because if they do, then people won't have Spirit to fly. They had to stay competitive. So they made sure the two couldn't join together. And then, of course, Spirit then goes out of business, but before they asked the federal government for $500 million in order to keep going. I think they've got like $2 or $3 billion in debt.
Yes, but and they also, if you ask them whether, and I'm sure that that's true, and it certainly didn't help their situation, but they also said that the cost of fuel right now is just.
Well, that was the thing that pushed them over, right? Okay, so now you can. Is that a GoFundMe? I can't believe that. Well, they got 1 week after Spirit Airlines shuts down operation, a new campaign to save them.
Okay, I had a genius idea. Spirit Airlines just went bankrupt, right? I'm the guy that flew Spirit Airlines for 24 hours straight. There's more than 250 million individuals over the age of 18 in the United States. Now, if we took only 20% of them and paid basically the average fare of a Spirit Airlines flight, which is somewhere around $30 to $40, we could buy Spirit Airlines. This is a genius idea. We nationalize Spirit Airlines, owned by the people. Airline's gone. We make a new airline. Let's buy an airline. I should make a bet enough for this.
Okay. So you're going to buy it. All right, everybody, you've all paid, and now we need to put gas in it. Does anybody have any money now? We own the airline. Hey, you got ongoing concern. We got revenue. We got to keep making money, right? So everybody's going to have to continue to pay every single month to keep running the joint, right?
Yeah, I don't know how far out they've thought this, but he thinks it's a great idea. There's so far 371,000 people have pledged a total of $337
They actually
million.
pledged?
I mean, you pledge. It doesn't mean you do anything. You just say, hey, if this comes about, I'm good for $50 or whatever.
Right. I love the fact that Warren didn't want them to merge with JetBlue because they said, well, if you merge, it's going to cause a problem. Those two carriers, like 6 and 7, the big major carriers, it's a small little portion of the travelers. And Spirit Airlines spent way too much money on a big facility. Then they bought a whole bunch of jets. And then, yeah, you're right, the cost of jet fuel went up. But they were already struggling before that hit. And then the sad thing is, where are people going to go to punch one another? Frontier Airlines?
Oh.
Here's Nate checking traffic.
All right, this one brought to us by Seattle Sports. Tacoma, we've got a collision on the ramp to northbound 705 affecting both northbound I-5 and northbound 7 drivers. Now, you can still access this ramp. It's right under the freeway there at that interchange, but you're coming to a complete stop at the scene as drivers take turns squeezing past the collision. Over to Sumner, we've got a new collision southbound 167 at 410 blocking your right lane. That leaves one lane open, and we've got a thick backup starting near the outlet mall there in Algona. Federal Way to Tacoma is at 20 minutes. We're slow from State Route 18 all the way to the Puyallup River Bridge. In South Tacoma, North 5 at South 56, a collision partially blocks that on-ramp. Drivers are slowing down at the scene to check it out. We've got a half dozen cars there, and your backup starts at 512. So Olympia to Tacoma has climbed to a 40-minute commute. You can always listen to your favorite local sports content on the FM dial on 97.3 HD2. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
KIRO News Radio, where you turn for the news you depend on.
KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey is here with more.
24% of businesses are now thinking about leaving Washington.
Traffic.
We are definitely seeing some slowing through the S-curves.
Conversation.
We build it, we produce it, we charge for it.
And your Super Bowl champion Seahawks.
A one-hander! Are you kidding me?
Broadcasting live from the KIRO News Radio YouTube channel. KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM.
We just want to have enough money for retirement.
And travel to visit our grandchildren.
I understand. That's why at Fisher Investments, we start by getting to know each other, so I can learn about your family, lifestyle, goals and needs, allowing us to tailor your portfolio.
What about commission-based products?
We don't sell those. We're a fiduciary, obligated to act in your best interest.
So how do your management fees work?
We have a simple management fee based on the value of your portfolio. So we do better when you do better.
We appreciate that kind of transparency.
We also check in with you regularly to keep you up to date on the markets and your portfolio.
Well, what other services do you offer?
As a client, you have access to resources on investing, financial planning, estate planning, Social Security, Medicare, and more.
Wow, sounds like Fisher Investments has everything we need.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at fisherinvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Do you owe $10,000 or more to the IRS like Will?
When I was 50, my whole life fell apart. I lost my job, I lost my wife, I lost the house, I lost pretty much everything except for my life. When the IRS came calling, I just didn't have it in me. I felt like Wile E. Coyote, just waiting for that IRS anvil to drop.
Then Will found Tax Relief Advocates.
I heard their advertisement on the radio, I wrote down the number, and I made the call that changed everything. The IRS gave me a bill for $40,000. Tax Relief Advocates got that down to $3,200. I've paid 9 cents on the dollar. Now that's a great deal in anybody's book.
If you owe 10 or even hundreds of thousands of dollars to the IRS, don't lose hope. Do what Will did and call TRA for a consultation.
But for me, the real win is I got my life back.
Visit TRA.com or call 800-488-2578. 800-488-2578. That's 800-488-2578.
Your best source for local news. KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
Hey, it's Jason Rance. I'm here with our local tax expert and advocate, Greg Nunn from None Better Tax Resolution. One thing the IRS has been working on is to modernize their infrastructure, the software that they use. And, you know, we look at that and say that's great for government efficiency, but in this case, that kind of efficiency means they're spotting people way faster.
They're able to do that, and they have to do that because they have fewer personnel. But look at your own work environment, how technology is replacing people, and you can get as much work done or more with the proper technology. And that's what the IRS's goal is that we need to use technology, especially AI, to make determinations on, okay, who should we go after? Who are we missing?
If you're having trouble with the IRS, then call Greg Nunn. None Better Tax Resolution. From stress to success with IRS Solutions. 425-947-1967 or Google NUNN. None Better Tax Resolution.
Families across Western Washington voted Aegis Living Best Senior Living Community, and Seniorly ranked them #1 in America. See why. Schedule a tour today at aegisliving.com/KIRO and get a special take-home gift. Aegis Living. This must be the place.
Hey, you know Earthwise Salvage in Soto? That really cool place with all the amazing doors, windows, and other treasure? Great news. They just opened a brand new location nearby. The Salvage Lumber Warehouse is ready to serve as a central resource for contractors, builders, home DIYers, and hobbyist woodworkers, providing access to cleaned, denailed lumber ready for reuse, flooring, beams, siding, mantles, live edge slabs, and so much more. All harvested from structures, not forests. Visit ewsalvage.com.
KIRO News Radio, the first place you turn for the news you trust.
Renton police investigating a shooting that happened just after midnight.
Engaging conversation.
It's just indefensible. The mayor's communications team should be better.
Traffic.
A full closure now, southbound 509 at Alexander Avenue.
And your Super Bowl champion Seahawks.
Touchdown, Seahawks!
Streaming everywhere on the KIRO News Radio app. Always here, always with you. KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM.
Stop living with missing teeth. You may qualify for full mouth implants at a reduced cost using your medical insurance. Call South Seattle Smiles today at 206-241-5533 to see if you're a candidate. SouthSeattleSmiles.com.
Nothing makes a gathering great like Eggland's Best Eggs. They're just so delicious, with better nutrition too. It's eggs any style, as long as they're the best. Eggland's Best.
Your best source for local news. KIRO News Radio. KIRO FM and HD1. Tacoma, Seattle. Northwest News.
This is CBS News on the Hour. Your home for original reporting.
I'm Jennifer Kuiper. President Trump is heading to a high-stakes visit with Chinese leader Xi Jinping. CBS's Nancy Cordes has more on the trip.
We'll be talking about trade, business deals. The White House is inviting a slew of very prominent U.S. Business leaders to join them on this trip. So they'll talk about that. They'll talk about Taiwan. President Trump says he assumes that President Xi will bring it up. So that's always a delicate conversation.
Before leaving, the president told reporters what it will take to end the war with Iran.
It's very simple. Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. They will not have a nuclear weapon. They know that. They've agreed to that. And then that's not what they said to me when it came to pay. We don't play games. They're not going to have a nuclear weapon.
Emotional testimony at a House Oversight Committee hearing into the handling of the Jeffrey Epstein investigation and document release. CBS's Cammie McCormick reports.
An Epstein survivor identified as Rosa says she was subjected to repeated sex abuse and rape. And despite efforts to protect her identity, her name has appeared more than 500 times in court records after the Justice Department's release of the files.
My name was exposed to the world. Now reporters from across the globe contact me. I cannot live without looking over my shoulder. I can only imagine the long-term impact this mistake will have on my life.
The field hearing took place in Palm Beach, Florida.
There was a short court hearing for Tiger Woods today after his March arrest for suspicion of driving under the influence. Woods' prescription drug records will be handed over to prosecutors. They had issued a subpoena for all of Woods' prescription medication records from the start of the year through March. Defense attorney Doug Duncan argued Woods had a right to privacy.
I'm asking for a protective order to govern who can view these records, etc.
Prosecutors agreed to limit access to the information. According to the Associated Press, the family of Jason Collins has announced that the NBA's first openly gay player has died of a brain tumor at age 47. A reception for the Artemis II astronauts was held today at the U.S. Capitol. Commander Reed Weissman, pilot Victor Glover, mission specialist Christina Cook, and mission specialist Jeremy Hansen attended. Republican Senator Ted Cruz of Texas telling them,
So each of you now has a resolution saying thank you, and that is passed unanimously on behalf of the Senate and is forever in the record of the United States of America that we collectively have said thank you for your leadership.
This is CBS News.
It's one of the most successful law and justice programs in television history that continues to uncover the truth. 48 Hours, Saturday on CBS and streaming on Paramount+.
Coming up, the Hanta virus outbreak hitting close to home. That's after Nate Connors at the real-time traffic desk.
Thank you, Aaron. Your Seattle Mariners have the update. Tacoma, we already cleared that collision on the ramp to North 705 from both northbound I-5 and northbound 7. In Sumner, we're still dealing with a collision, fairly new. Southbound 167 at 410. It blocks your right lane. lane. That leaves one lane open. You're sitting in a bumper-to-bumper backup from Algona. Renton to Puyallup is a 50-minute commute now. Seattle to Federal Way is at 40 minutes. Typical backups here. North 5 into Seattle is a 40-minute trip as well. Again, typical backups starting before the West Seattle Bridge across the Ship Canal. South 5, you're slow from Lake City Way to I-90. Linwood to Seattle right around 25 minutes, and this includes a backup through Linwood between 164th and 44th, where we have a burned-up car on the right shoulder, still proving to be a distraction. And this has been sending drivers over to 405, so South 405, you're bumper-to-bumper between Damson Road and 527 right now. In fact, Linwood to Bellevue is going to take you 40 minutes. Don't miss 8 fireworks nights this season, presented by T-Mobile. The first show is May 29th. You can get your tickets at mariners.com/fireworks. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon, I'm Aaron Granillo. 3 King County residents may have been exposed to Hanta virus, linked to that outbreak on a cruise ship. KIRO News Radio's Frank Lenzi with more.
2 of the 3 are members of the same household. They're showing no symptoms, but are watching for them at home. County Health Officer Dr. Sandra Valenciano says there are no confirmed hantavirus cases in King County, and the risk to the public is low.
I know for many of us, it may bring back memories from the COVID-19 pandemic.
The difference is we knew very little about COVID when the pandemic started, but there are decades worth of data on hantavirus. The 3rd King County resident is asymptomatic and in quarantine in Nebraska. Frank Lenzi, KIRO News Radio.
Just in, the body of a 24-year-old Bothell man has been recovered on Mount Pugh near Darrington. Snohomish County Sheriff's Office says the man was reported missing on Sunday after he failed to show for work. Search and rescue teams located his body today about 800 feet below where crews first found his hiking gear. It appears he fell down a steep passage. King County deputies are now releasing police reports surrounding allegations that a couple pulled a gun on local students protesting ICE. This happened almost 3 months ago, and as KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey reports, no charges have been filed.
Video of the incident raises red flags for King County Prosecutor Gary Ernsdorf.
That's not okay.
It shows a pickup truck stopped next to protesting Kennedy Catholic High School students in Burien. Words and middle fingers are exchanged. Then the female passenger appears to display a pistol, causing the students to scramble.
It sounds like the actor with the firearm was clearly trying to intimidate people exercising their First Amendment rights.
Burien police say they can't find the female or the truck, and Ernsdorf says without knowing whether the gun is real, there may not be any referral for criminal charges. Luke Ducey, KIRO News Radio.
If you happen to see emergency vehicles at SeaTac Airport tomorrow morning, it is only a drill. The Port of Seattle is conducting a full-scale emergency exercise between 8 a.m. and 1 p.m. You may see a mock aircraft and volunteers acting as victims on the airfield. FAA requires this drill every 3 years. It will not delay any flights tomorrow. Your weather update now. Looking at some clouds this evening, but warm weather, highs in the low 80s. Big change tomorrow, though. Chilly, rainy, and breezy for Wednesday. Right now, 82 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with a KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
Got it. There we go with the John Curley Show. Thanks, everybody. So much appreciate your time with us. Muckleshoot Casino Resort text line. 1-888-973-5476. All welcome. Teeny's going to choose letter of the day in just a bit. But first, dive it in the nose. There we go. Came across this provocative sound. I thought I'd share it with you. It also came with pictures, but we're doing old-fashioned radio sometimes. YouTube people, hi, how are you?
Washington State is changing. If you live in Washington right now, you are living through one of the most consequential transformations that our state has ever seen, and I do not say that lightly. We are talking about a $2.3 billion budget deficit, the first income tax in Washington State's history, and a legislative pension raid that nobody in the mainstream media is screaming about, and a rent cap that's already in effect and that most landlords still don't understand, and a ferry system that just hit your wallet for the 3rd time in 12 months.
Leah Courage, you got to be the worst real estate agent because, like, I I'm like, my wife is a realtor, as they say. And everything that she says, this is going to be, you're going to love it here. This is great. You should buy. But you're on there like, oh my God, run for the hills. Everybody, quick, move to Florida. The sky is falling. Have you seen the price of the houses they've listed, the $5 million homes? They've gone up like, I forget the percentage that you said that the homes that over there in, Hunts Point and stuff, that they're all on the market. Everybody's just running away. I'm like, how do you ever get any listings when you do all that kind of yelling and screaming?
The funny thing is, I mean, our phones have honestly been ringing, especially since we started our YouTube segment, really just off the hook. I mean, no matter what, I think people appreciate the truth. I mean, you know this as much as anybody else. And I think it's especially refreshing when you find a real estate agent who's not trying to just sell you on everything that's good and great about a community, because there are dark sides. Like, we've got a video called The Dark Side of Washington State. Yeah. And it goes into it. And it's important for people to know. So if people move here understanding the dark and the light about Washington, then they're much more informed. And that's what our goal is.
I get that. Okay, that's smart. Because let's face it, if somebody's buying a $5 million house or a $10 million house, they didn't just fall off the back of a turnip truck. I mean, they're well aware of the situation. So you're saying, look, you have every reason to be concerned. Here's the plus, here's the negative. You should just know coming in. That I get. That's it. That makes perfect sense. Right. But how did you get into the idea of digging into all the politics while at the same time listing and selling expensive homes?
Oh, my gosh. Because, well, I think part of it's my last name is Courage. So I'm kind of held to a higher standard, or hold myself to a higher standard with that. Nobody else was talking about it. Nobody was talking about in real estate. You go on and you look at the average real estate YouTube channel, and everybody talks about the great things about living in Bellingham, how wonderful it is to live in Little Anacortes or Idaho. And nobody's actually digging into the darker realities and the financial consequences of both buying and selling anywhere. And it's really important for people to understand. So we felt passionately about being transparent in a way that most real estate agents aren't. Yeah. And honestly, it was a big risk. We didn't know how it was going to turn out. Yeah. We had no idea.
I talked to a friend of mine. He said, please call this financial advisor. He works with estate planning. I won't say his name on the air, but he handles a whole bunch of big people. And then he was the one about 4 months ago, Leah, that directed me to the Zillow. He said, put in the filter 5 million up to 75 million and look at the number of houses on the market. Is the real estate market part of the canary in the coal mine when you look at the...
Oh, my gosh.
Is it?
It is. It is so much. It's one of the only leading indicators that we actually have that we can look at and say, here's what's going to happen. So the luxury market, just like I'm sure you know, the day after Senate Bill 6346 was passed and signed by Bob Ferguson, luxury listings, meaning listings over $2 million, spiked by 65% in one single day. And also luxury listing sales are down. So across the board, whether it's just King County or it's luxury listings, inventory is up for both. So luxury listings are up anywhere between 30 and 40% year over year. Ugh. So that's a huge leading indicator. Yeah. King County listings altogether are up 30%. But the number of total sales are down. So I did the calculation just for you, John.
Thank you.
As of last year, over the last month, we had 231 sales, but this year we've only had 188. That's a 20% drop in the amount of luxury sales that we have, while inventory is way up.
What's time on market? What's time on market for those listings?
Oh my gosh, it's going up like crazy. Like I don't even have an accurate number, honestly.
Yeah.
Because it's a moving target. It's way over 90 days at this point.
Right. Because as more properties come on, then you're extending the time on market and then to clear the inventory for new ones. I should say that my wife sells primarily in Park City, and she just sold 3 homes in Park City. And guess who the buyers were?
Let me guess, Washingtonians.
Yes.
Imagine that. We even looked at Park City.
Yes. And these are the people that buy by calling up and going, hey, is that $4 million house still available? And Nick says, yeah, we'll take it. I mean, sight unseen. Exactly. That's the kind of cash these people have. and they're leaving. On one of the videos I saw that you said that you have to get out of here now, that you have to leave within the next couple of 12 to 24 months or something to establish residence in another state in order to avoid the coming quote unquote millionaires tax. Explain that to me.
Exactly. Well, it basically just means that there's going to be a residency rule, and you have to establish your primary domicile somewhere else, or the Washington State Department of Revenue is going to tax you, and anything that you make, if you're one of those high earners and you make over $1 million a year, they're going to tax you at that 9.9% rate on any earnings over $1 million. Basically effective 2028. So what I was saying is you need to get out and get established right now, because they could honestly, they're changing the rules constantly. Maybe they roll it back so that it's more like 2027. But basically it all starts in 2028. That is when the tax goes into effect, and they start collecting in 2029.
So for the person who is wealthy enough, has worked hard enough, and has gotten themselves a nice home, they're in a bit of a pickle, because the neighbor down the street is also in the same situation. So their house is on the market. So they call you up and they go, Leah, I want to list it for $6 million, and it's going to sit and sit. Well, if all those houses are sitting, their asking prices continue to drop. Somebody could come in. They're obviously who's buying? That's the big question. Who says, oh, I love the idea of a millionaire's tax. I like making sure that the drugs are cheap and the crime is free. I want to live in Seattle. Who is that person?
It's a great question, and I'm going to have to get back to you on that, because we're still collecting the data.
Wait a minute. Have you sold? Here's the question. Courage, have you sold a house to a rich person recently, and who is that person? They're not need their name, just their demographic. Who are they?
Oh, sure. They're coming somewhere usually from somewhere within Washington. They're coming from California. They're making lateral moves typically, but a lot of the time, the most important thing is that they're second homeowners. They're not going to live there as their primary residence. And that's where, I know you looked at our second homeowners tax video. It's where Washington State is going to get really aggressive, and they're going to try to pass legislation in the next session to actually create a second homeowners tax, to tax those people who are using this, who are, say, living in Florida, but this $5 million beautiful property that they've got in Medina is just a second home that they can hang out in the summer.
Explain how that tax works. I know in Utah, they do that in Park City, because you're not there all the time. They tax a second home at a higher. They take a greater percentage of the value of the home, and you sort of just know that. Which really isn't fair, because I guess they figure if you're out of state, you can't vote them out. There's one. Two, you're not using many services. You're not driving around a lot. But they figured, well, you can't vote against me because you don't live in the state. You just come in here for a couple of months and you enjoy skiing or whatever. So they tax. So in the state of Washington, I know they have been looking at a second property tax, second homeowner property tax. Is this thing going to move forward? And what would the percentage be?
It's a great question. I know they're trying to make it move forward. It is going to go on the ballot. So you are going to be able to vote on it as a Washingtonian, which is great. It's basically what you have to pay attention to is Senate Joint Resolution 8203 and House Bill 2024. And basically what these are trying to do is to take down the uniformity clause, which in the Washington State Constitution says that all property, and you know this, that all property has to be taxed at the same rate. So what they're saying is that primary residences are going to get this nice exclusion. So they're presenting it, it's kind of a Trojan horse. So they're presenting it as though, oh, it's this great thing for primary homeowners. And it's not that it's not, but the second homeowners, the people who don't live in Washington State 183 days out of the year, they are the ones who are going to be picking up the rest of the bill. So the tax burden is going to shift from the primary homeowners onto the second homeowners. And it's like they knew that this was coming, because they knew that all the millionaires were going to start to leave, that there was going to be a huge exodus when they passed the millionaire tax.
So the guy that sells... But I think if the rich people, from what I understand, the super rich, they're leaving everything. They leave the country club, they leave the church, they leave the synagogue, they leave everything. They're gone. They want nothing behind. They said, don't let the Department of Revenue even get a crumb. Or if you have a small thread that's connected to you from wherever you go, they're going to pull on that thread and try to get some cash from you. So that the super rich are not going to leave their primary home as a secondary. They're just going to go all together. And then if it becomes more expensive, somebody will buy a second home in another state and just not spend the money here. So that, you never tax yourself into any sort of wealth. Okay, here's a prediction. Let's see, get you on record on this one. So Tim Eyman, you know Tim Eyman, right?
Uh-huh.
All right. Tim Eyman, according to a piece that Danny Westmead writes about in the Seattle Times, Eyman says that the millionaire's tax will not be voted down by the voters of Washington. He thinks that they will pass this thing. And when this is an initiative and we go to the ballots in November, people of Washington will say, yeah, tax the rich. Do you think that is going to come to pass or not?
Oof, I would honestly, I don't want to believe it, but I would.
Courage, I need you on the record.
I would agree with him.
What's your?
I would agree with him.
Whoa! You agree? Yeah. You agree with Eyman that when asked, the people of Washington will say yes, tax the rich.
I absolutely think that's going to happen. I think it depends, but I think that it's going to pass. You know, I can't say for sure. I don't have a crystal ball, and that's what they tell you in real estate is they never make predictions. So I'm totally going against what I should do here, but I think it's going to pass. And I think that it's honestly, even if it doesn't pass, it's something that every single homeowner should prepare for, regardless of if it does or doesn't. Just assume that it's going to honestly, just assume the worst in this.
Okay, then how does a homeowner prepare? Courage. Let's say it passes. How's the average? Why does the average homeowner have to prepare?
Well, the average homeowner doesn't necessarily at the moment, but if you're in that higher luxury tier, they're already paying attention to it. They already started paying attention to it when the capital gains tax passed.
Sure.
But what's going to happen is the income tax, when all of the wealthy leave, it's not going to just stay at those upper tiers. It's going to suddenly be, it's everyone making $750 or above, or $500 or above. And also, as soon as the second home tax is passed, by the way, and the uniformity clause is bust, then all of a sudden they can tax people at different, whose properties are worth different values at different rates. That's the whole goal of the second home tax. So everybody needs to be paying attention to this because it's going to apply to everybody eventually.
Okay, now there it is. It took me a long time to get there. You're right. Okay, so once you break the dam and the second home is taxed at a different level, then they go, okay, so we set precedent, we tax it. Now, if your house is valued at X, we'll tax it at a lower percentage, or we'll have different steps up. Okay, all right, then all
that's
of
what I think.
Right.
Everything's up.
It took 20 minutes to get to that.
Yes, that's what I think is going to happen.
All right, you're on record. What? I'm gonna look it up online. What's your fancy schmanciest house that you have right now that you think you should be selling?
Well, we've got a beautiful house. It's almost $4 million for sale on Guaymas Island, which I'll bet. Have you ever heard of Guaymas?
Yes.
It's like it's a secret San Juan Island. It's a beautiful home. It's right on the water. It's on 8 acres. Everybody needs to take a look at it. It's on Forest Lane on Guaymas Island, which is just north of Anacortes.
Killer views, updated kitchen.
Lots of caterpillars.
Oh, it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. It's 400 feet of low bank waterfront. You can fish right out your door, crab right out your door. It's an unbelievable property. It's one of a kind.
Sunsets and sunrises free. All right, we'll be checking back in with you. I like your style there, Courage.
Thank you.
CourageRealty.com. Yes. It's the only real estate agent I know that's like, run everybody, go to another state and buy a house.
And John, I've been watching you. Maybe this makes you feel awkward. I've been watching you since I was a kid, so I'm majorly fangirling right now. So thank you. Thank you for having me on. It's a pleasure.
Well, you could have just said you were a fangirl. You didn't have to mention you being a kid. Okay, that's the last time you're going to be on. Goodbye, Courage. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you.
For the last time, here's Nate checking traffic. Bye-bye.
Thanks, John. In Sumner, we cleared that collision southbound 167 at 410. It's on your right shoulder, and you're backed up bumper to Algona. It's a half hour to get through this backup. Tacoma to Olympia, plan on 45 minutes. Your biggest backup this afternoon is a 3-mile stretch through JBLM. Federal Way to Tacoma has gone up to 25 minutes. We're stop and go now from South 320th all the way across the Puyallup River Bridge. Here in Seattle, North 5, we're packed before the West Seattle Bridge of the Ship Canal. We're up to 45 minutes now to clear this. Seattle to Everett, 50 minutes. You're slow from Northgate into Mill Creek. Bellevue to Everett just hit 1 hour. It is solid from mid-Bellevue into Canyon Park, and then again approaching the Alderwood interchange. And southbound I-5 coming out of South Everett, we've got 2 separate collisions. One's at 128th, blocking the HOV lane, and down at 164th, a collision partially blocks the very end of that on-ramp, causing a bit of an early merged. So all these combined, it's pretty slow between South Everett and Linwood right now. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Chokepoints with Chris Sullivan.
With Chokepoints, we try to answer listeners' questions. It can be as simple as a neighborhood stop sign, or it can be as big as the budget for transportation. I don't care. I'll find the answer for you. It's really easy to get a hold of me at mynorthwest.com. We have a direct link there that gets right to me. You can also do it in the app. You can hit me up on the text line.
Chokepoints, presented by Carter Subaru. Tuesdays and Thursdays on KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM.
With summer right around the corner, Valentine Roofing's schedule is filling up fast. Jake Skorheim here. I want to give you 3 reasons why you should pick up the phone and call Valentine today. Number 1, there's still time to beat the summer rush and get your roof started in as little as 3 weeks. Number 2, when the nice weather hits, you'll be enjoying your backyard instead of worrying about your roof. And 3, with the increased cost of crude oil, material prices going up, shipping prices going up, lock in your price now before the market absorbs all those price increases. Call 206 Roofing today, and I guarantee there'll be no surprises, just a clear estimate you can trust. And once you choose Valentine Roofing, here's what you can expect. Seamless communication, meticulous cleanup, and extra mile service. That's the Valentine experience and the reason that they were awarded the 2025 Gold for Best Roofing Company by the Seattle Times Best in the Pacific Northwest Awards. Call 206 Roofing today. That's 206 Roofing. And remember, when you see the red Valentine van, you know your home is in good hands.
The Camping World Ultimate RV Show is coming to Angel of the Winds RV Resort in Seattle. Parking and admission are free. Join us May 14th to the 17th to shop special show pricing on over 200 fully staged new and used RVs. Get an exclusive first look at new models. Check out the latest gear and accessories. Bring the family to enjoy our Kids Zone and enter to win a new RV. Don't miss the Ultimate RV Show in Seattle, May 14th to the 17th. We'll see you there.
Tired of hearing scary radio ads about the IRS? Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000 or $500,000, we have a solution. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS with zero risk to you. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with a BBB. End your tax nightmare today by visiting TRA.com or call 800-583-6681. That's 800-583-6681.
G. Scott here. Safeway wants you to know SunBucks gives qualifying families $120 per child for summer groceries. Some families are signed up automatically. Others need to apply. Find out if you should apply at freesummermeals.org.
Your medication for enlarged prostate is working. That's what you tell yourself. You're up 3 times a night instead of 5. The urgency is manageable. The stream's not great, but it's fine. That's the problem. Fine. Enlarged prostate, or BPH, doesn't pause because the medication takes the edge off. The prostate keeps growing. The bladder keeps working harder. And over time, those changes can be harder to reverse. But surgery? Not for you, right? Aquablation is not the surgery you're picturing. It's the only ultrasound-guided, robotic-assisted therapy for enlarged prostate. Don't wait until things become unbearable. Find an Aquablation urologist near you. Call Aquablation Seattle at 206-666-2466. 206-666-2466. That's 206-666-2466. All surgical treatments carry risks, and results may vary. Side effects may include urinary symptoms, mild pain, ejaculatory dysfunction, or infection. In rare cases, complications to the urethra and rectum may occur. Aquablation therapy may not be right for everyone. Talk to your urologist to learn more. Visit aquablationseattle.com.
Missing teeth? You may qualify for full mouth implants at a reduced cost using your medical insurance. Call South Seattle Smiles today at 206-241-5533 to see if you're a candidate. Your new smile starts now. SouthSeattleSmiles.com.
We meet by accident, fixing every last dent, Accurate Auto Body.
If you've been in an auto accident, you have the right to take your vehicle to any repair facility. Accurate Auto Body has been family owned and operated since 1994, and they work for you, not your insurance company. Your insurance company may not love them, but you will, because
we meet by accident, fixing every last dent, Accurate Auto Body.
The team that gave me back my full head of hair, Advanced Hair, is once again the winner of the 425 Business of the Year. Dr. Perungo and his world-class team begin regrowing your own natural hair the very next day. And Advanced Hair guarantees your new hair will grow, just like they did for me. Find out why Advanced Hair is the best of the best. With your free consultation, you'll receive $250 off and 250 free hair grafts. 425-449-8185 or advancedhair.com.
Jason Rance here with our local tax expert and advocate, Greg Nunn from Nunn Better Tax Resolution. So, Greg, not all tax resolution companies are the same. There are some that are definitely not local. There are others that don't quite know what they're doing even.
Well, I tell you, these ads that all of us hear, Fresh Start program, they make you feel like, hey, man, I can just easy peasy get my taxes written off. No. And I've had several clients actually come to me after going through that process, and they just get no response after a while. They're passed around from person to person. That doesn't happen at my firm.
You are familiar with the cases that come in. You're working on them.
I'm familiar with every case that comes into our office. And I know what's going on and have the ability to really advise our taxpayers very well on what to do.
If you're having trouble with the IRS, then call Greg Nunn. Nunn Better Tax Resolution, from stress to success with IRS Solutions. 425-947-1967 or Google NUNN. Nunn Better Tax Resolution.
Your old furnace ain't nice, and your toes are like ice. DayandNight.net. This month, Day and Night gives you a free furnace with the installation of an AC or heat pump.
If you're not sure your furnace will make it through another winter, call us to install a proper, long-lasting, efficient heating system backed by our lifetime workmanship guarantee, so you won't be left out in the cold.
Install an AC or heat pump and get a free furnace from Day and Night Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electric.
DayandNight.net. KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon. I'm Aaron Granillo. Your money is not going as far as it once did. Year-over-year inflation now up 3.8% nationwide, the highest jump in about 3 years. CBS's Kelly O'Grady reports energy is the main driver as oil prices spike due to the war in Iran.
Americans are feeling that trickle down at the pump, where gas prices jumped more than 28% from last year. The national average for a gallon of regular is now $4.50.
And it's about $6 on average here in the Seattle area, where inflation is surging faster than the national average, up 4.9% over the past year. President Trump has said prices will come down once the war with Iran is over. He spoke with reporters today before he left on a trip to China.
We've beaten their militaries very soundly. That's over with. The blockade is very effective. It's been 100% effective. And one way or the other, it's going to work out very well.
Today, the Pentagon put the current cost to the conflict at about $29 billion. The parent company of Canvas says it has paid a ransom after hackers threatened to release the data they stole from hundreds of schools and universities. Here's KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey.
The company behind the online learning platform Canvas says it reached a deal with the hacker group known as Shiny Hunters to delete data stolen during a cyber attack that disrupted students across the country, many of them during finals week, in exchange for cash. Cybersecurity expert Kristen Flynn Goodwin says the price tag most likely reached into the millions.
I think it's safe to say that it's seven-figure sum, at least.
Last week's breach involved 9,000 schools and 275 million people worldwide, including students at the University of Washington. Luke Ducey, KIRO News Radio.
The conservative group Let's Go Washington has now launched its signature drive to repeal the state's new income tax on high earners. The initiative would overturn the 9.9% tax on income above $1 million. Local tech entrepreneur Jesse Proudman argues the tax is driving businesses out of state.
So when they say there is not capital flight, I don't know where they have stuck their head in the sand, but everybody I know is looking at alternatives.
Supporters of that law say it affects fewer than 20,000 households and will fund childcare and social services. Let's go now to the real-time traffic desk at 4:32. Check in with Nate Connors.
All right, Aaron, let's start up north first. Everett to Marysville. We're doing a very typical commute this afternoon at 10 minutes. South Everett, South 5 at 128th. We've got a crash in your HOV lane. And then further down the road on 164th, a collision partially blocks that on-ramp at the very end of the ramp. And as you head through Linwood, South 5 is packed from the interchange to 44th. So this adds to an Everett to Seattle commute taking 50 minutes. Once you get here into Seattle, it gets heavy in the U District down to I-90. North 5, we're packed from the West Seattle Bridge to the Ship Canal. 45 minutes to clear this. Seattle to Everett is a 50-minute commute. Bellevue to Everett's a solid hour. Crossing the lake from Bellevue to Seattle, it's 20 minutes on I-90. Now, you're crowded from Island Crestway to I-5. It's a half hour on 520 where it jams up bumper to bumper mid-span over to I-5. Bellevue to Renton, 25 minutes. Bumper to bumper from 520 to Cold Creek Parkway. Then things thin out, but then you'll finally clear out when you head into the Renton S-curves. And North 405, we're heavy from South Center through those S-curves. KIRO News Radio real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
And your forecast now, some high clouds this evening, setting up for a chilly day tomorrow. It'll be rainy and breezy at times for Wednesday. Right now, though, it is warm out there, 81 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
Spring showers, more like spring sprinkles, downpours, hailstorms, cold snaps, flooding, and sometimes even a little sun. Spring in Western Washington changes day to day, even hour to hour. That's why you need experts who have decades of experience and the right tools to keep you weather ready. Watch KIRO 7 pinpoint weather forecasts in every newscast and on the KIRO 7 apps for your phone or TV.
Thanks, Joe. I didn't realize you were doing a commercial there. I thought you were just talking about the weather. Oh, wow. This is fun. Sprinkles. How'd you start? Well said, well read, Joe. Bucky's Auto Service Centers. You know, they got 16 locations. High outside Bald Sioux. Been around for 51 years. 16 locations. Take the car to Bucky's Auto Service Centers. Majority Leader of the Senate there, Jamie Peterson, says he hasn't seen any evidence of anybody leaving. This person just texted me. Okay, just moved. This person knows, just moved a $1 billion privately owned business out of downtown Seattle to a tax-friendly state. His company is also helping to fund the transfer out of the state of his key employees. The company has 1,000 employees. So there's one more. One more. And by the way, we have been collecting these, and occasionally, and if you do know somebody that has decided that's it, they're packing up to leave and they can't, because our lawmakers keep saying, well, we don't have any evidence. We don't know that it's true. We haven't heard that there's a capital flight. If you know anybody that's packing it up and leaving and not going to Bucky's Auto Service Centers with 16 locations. See how I brought it around there? You can send them Bucky's Casino 1-888-973. That's 1-888-973. 1-888-973-54. Because I realized I told Andrew I wanted to do something and I left you hanging there. 1-888-973-5476. Okay. Never mind, Andrew, with the sound effects. Sorry, I screwed you over there. Sorry. We'd planned something. Well, the federal government's coming in to solve a problem for you because one out of Delaware gets the most. I don't know where Washington is on the list. Some people get 100 robocalls a day. Good Lord. How horrible that be? So the FCC has decided they're going to come in and they've got a plan to stop robocalls. Is this it back in December, this guy? Senator 10 bucks? Yeah.
Nearly every telephone town hall that I do, the folks always bring up robocalls. They feel overwhelmed by them. They feel that they perpetrate real harm. They give examples.
What was that face for?
Well, I mean, these two, Senator Budd and FCC Chairman Carr, make it out like this is the top of the list and the issues that they're dealing with.
Oh, you have the problem with the little hyperbole here?
Mm-hmm. Every telephone town hall that I do, the folks always bring up robocalls. They feel overwhelmed by them.
Overwhelmed.
They feel that they perpetrate real harm.
Real harm.
Oh, give examples. So, Chairman, again, thank you all for being here. Chairman, what can the FCC do to proactively protect folks, and how can you stay ahead of the curve?
And can I have another question you want me to read to you?
With these changing criminal tactics.
This is the number one.
Well, thank you for that question.
Consumer complaint we get at the FCC. Historically, it's felt like a game of whack-a-mole. We'd put a technology solution in place. We'd go after a single bad actor. What we're doing right now is we're taking an approach where we're tackling illegal robocalls at every single portion of the call lifecycle.
Okay. You can go online. First off, if you get an iPhone, you can have unknown calls silenced. That's one. You could do that on your own. There's a bunch of apps you can put in place as well. Some of them are free. I'm sure they're going to sell your data, but hey, you get rid of the robocalls. So there's things you can do on your own, or you can allow the FCC to come in with this plan. Good Lord. You ready? The FCC attempts to solve robocall problems by potentially creating an even bigger privacy problem. So if you want to buy a phone, if this thing goes through, you have to show ID to purchase the phone. Then you have to register that as your phone and your phone number. There's no more burner phones, Joe, so you can't be buying drugs with a burner phone. The government will then know what your number is. They'll then they'll be able to track it all. And the results will be identity verification regime covering one of the latest semi-anonymous communication tools available to ordinary Americans. So here it comes. In order to solve the robocall problem,
which is their number one issue in consumer complaints, apparently.
Serious. People have an emotional distress over it. The government is going to step in, and you're going to have to give them all the information in order to buy a phone.
It's like you probably have to have a real ID at some point.
Let's see. The enforcement regime for these rules are put into place is intriguing. Per Wiley Rain, it says would be a fine of $2,500 per call, and against an offending telecom provider, not the customer making the calls. The FCC would basically be deputizing the telecom companies as ID verifiers and scrutinizing the user's behavior. They would be highly motivated to crack down on their customers heavily because $2,500 per call in a country with billions of robocalls per year could be devastating. Well, there you go. All right, so let's go into the rabbit hole for a second. I believe, let me see if Joe's down there in the rabbit hole. Joe?
I live here now.
Welcome to Joe's Hole. Yes, Joe. Is this actually just being used as a Trojan horse in order to get more and more of our information?
Absolutely. Like everything they're doing right now when the world is distracted by war and just all these, social issues that we're fighting about. This falls right in line with the FISA 702 plan extension that they're trying to get through.
Yes.
And the central bank digital currency that they're trying to get through. Yeah. And these things are likely to happen. The kill switch in your car, their ability to monitor everything that you do and have access to everything that you do and have a sophisticated network that knows every piece of technology that you own or interact with.
Okay, how about some happy news? Here is somebody having fun with a robocall scammer.
Hello?
Hello. Hi,
Hello?
This is Russell calling from the Citizens for Trump Foundation. How are you doing today?
I wouldn't be interested in supporting that app. Thank you.
Great. Well, we're calling in regards to a problem we had with recent activity on your social media accounts. Do you have a second to talk about this matter? Well, we've been monitoring some of your posts, and it does seem that you've been making some rather negative comments about President Trump. Is that correct? Listen, we're going to have to ask you to lay off on the negative and derogatory posts about President Trump, okay? What's your problem anyways? Don't you want to make America great again?
Okay, that's the best you could find?
It was in your folder.
It wasn't good.
Oh, you didn't give me much time. It says robocall prank, beeped.
The best are the people that get the person on there and just torture them. I used to do that with the kids all the time when we had a landline. Now I don't have a landline, so I don't get the calls anymore.
Yeah, but it's funny that what that sound clip ended up being, because that's where we're headed. I mean, everything that you do is going to fall. It's going to be just like China, where they're going to grade every social interaction, every social media post, everything that you do or read or look at online. It's going to be graded on a certain level as to how compliant you're being with the
right. And then you get your civil score.
Yeah.
The civil score. They will see that if you are getting onto the subway and you don't stand up to give your seat to an elderly person, that costs you a couple of points.
Yeah.
A certain number of points can affect your credit score. Or say you want to fly from point A to point B somewhere in China and you want to book a first-class ticket. They won't let you buy the first-class ticket because your credit score is too low.
Right. You get caught littering, or you don't even get caught. You just litter. There's a camera that saw it. They file that away. You get a little letter in the mail saying, "Oh, you won't be traveling this month."
Wouldn't we have just a better society if that were the case?
Oh, you want that?
That is our time right there. We just spent in Joe's Hole, everybody. Hope you enjoyed that. All right.
I didn't get started.
Here's Nate checking traffic, Nathan.
All right, up in South Everett, South 5 at 128th. Our crash still blocks your HOV lane. You're backed up solidly to 526. We cleared the collision further down the road, 164th. It's on your shoulder now. Everett to Seattle still hanging on at 50 minutes. Got another backup there in Linwood starting at the interchange. Everett to Bellevue, 50 minutes. 405 is all clear until you get into Bellevue. And then once you do, it is bumper to bumper from 520 to Cold Creek Parkway. And then things gradually thin out for you. Bellevue to Renton, 25 minutes. Seattle to Federal Way is a 35-minute drive. We're slow from the Duwamish curve down to 516. Renton to Puyallup on 167, 45 minutes. Scattered slowing from Renton through Kent, and then it's bumper to bumper from State Route 18 into Puyallup. Tacoma to Olympia, a 45-minute commute. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
All right, some of the best times are your own time that you choose to spend with people that you love. And you don't want to be bothered with a whole bunch of other stuff. And comfort in your house is so important to you. On a hot summer day, is it nice to walk inside and it's nice and cool? Or if you close the door and winter's just outside and it's cozy inside. You just want to make sure that your time spent at home is comfortable. And that's where Home Comfort Alliance comes in. They make sure that everything is working properly for you. They have got a really cool thing that you can have on your phone. In 60 seconds, you get a clear, honest information as to what would be the best heating or cooling unit for you. In 60 seconds, they give you the best price anywhere around. Right now, how about this? A Lennox cooling system from Home Comfort Alliance. They give you a new heating system free when you buy a cooling system. Plus, they handle all the utility rebates, the available discounts. They get you the best possible value on Lennox. For a quote, right now, when it comes to heating and cooling and plumbing and electric, there's only one place to call: the comfort people themselves. That's homecomfortalliance.com.
KIRO News Radio, the first place you turn for the news you trust.
Renton police investigating a shooting that happened just after midnight.
Engaging conversation.
It's just indefensible. The mayor's communications team should be better.
Traffic.
A full closure now, southbound 509 at Alexander Avenue.
And your Super Bowl champion Seahawks.
Touchdown, Seahawks!
Streaming everywhere on the KIRO News Radio app. Always here, always with you. KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM.
You know what you can trust? The protection you get when you bundle home and auto insurance with Progressive. You know what you can't trust? Everything else, apparently. Like when you saw that article that said that thing you eat every day is a superfood and great for your gut health. But then 30 seconds later, a different article warns you to avoid it and it's taking years off your life. Well, which is it? Kind of a big difference there. Anyway, bundle home and auto insurance with Progressive for reliable coverage in a reliably unreliable world. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and third-party insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
If the world were like a Sleep Number mattress, everything would adapt for your comfort. Because as your life changes and your body changes, Sleep Number mattresses adapt and shift to give you personalized comfort night after night. And now everything's on sale during our Memorial Day event. Save up to $1,200 on mattresses for a limited time. To experience a whole new world of comfort, visit a Sleep Number store or go to sleepnumber.com. Sleep Number, to a good life sleep.
Holy smokes! The On Cruise Adventures Rick Riz Show.
What happened at the ballpark yesterday?
Sparky's sitting on my scorebook here, my cat.
Friday mornings at 8:15 on Seattle's Morning News.
Olympic Hot Tub has more ways than ever to achieve total wellness at home. Immerse yourself in a saltwater hot spring spa and let jets melt stress away. Enjoy a refreshing swim in an endless pool swim spa. Retreat to healing warmth and detox in a Tilo sauna. Then awaken mind and body with a cold plunge. You'll be saying, ah, in no time. Your path to wellness starts today at Olympic Hot Tub. Current specials with exciting savings at olympichottub.com. Better you, better life.
How does your roof look after this winter? Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors. Spring into action today. Save $3,000 on a new roof, siding, deck, or windows. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com.
Nick, you know what my dad always used to say?
Oh, which thing? Let me guess. If you put anything on a hot dog besides mustard, it's un-American?
Okay, that's true. Okay, but no, about the word worry. Remember he used to say about the word worry?
Yes, that it's not a verb, but it actually is.
I know it's a verb, but Nick, his point was nothing comes from worrying. You can sit here and worry about all the news and all about the chaos in the world. You worry about your health, but nothing comes of it. You have to take action.
Right.
Like, for instance, you and I, we go into Longevity Medical Clinic. That's an action. It's about taking that action. Like, people can go go to Longevity Medical Clinic to get the free health analysis, and then they can find out how they're aging and the things they can do in order to slow down the process to have a big, full, rich life so you can enjoy a hot dog with whatever you want on it.
And now worry is a verb.
See, there you go. So it all starts with you taking action. I was a patient at Longevity long before I started doing these commercials. So get your free health analysis. Go to lmclinic.com. That's lmclinic.com.
Don't wait. Insulate. Last year, American Crawl Space and Pest Services gave over $2 million in insulation rebates from PSE, more than any provider in the state. If your home was built before 1990, you're eligible for recouping up to 95% of insulation replacement costs. Insulate with American Crawl Space and keep your home warm during the winter and cool during the summer.
American Crawl, the heroes you call.
This Memorial Day, get $525 off every window, $1,000 off every door, plus 12 months zero-interest financing. Visit LakeWashingtonWindows.com.
America first heard of this woman when she decided she was transracial. Her brothers and sister, or her brothers were like, yeah, I don't know what happened to her, but she decided that she would get a really good spray tan. She would start to braid her hair. Of course, I'm talking about Rachel Dolezal. Is I saying her last name? I remember this a long time ago when the story broke, right? And everybody's talking about her, and then she got called out. She lied about some guy who wasn't even her father. What a mess she was, right? But for a while, she was a big, big advocate. I think she ran to the head of the NAACP in Spokane. She's transracial. Now she's changed her name to Nkechi Diablo.
Nkechi Diallo.
Oh, okay.
Yes, that's her new name.
Is she still transracial?
Well, so back then she told everybody that she was
She's
black.
black,
had a
and she
hair.
right then.
Yes,
right.
and then she caught a bunch of heat for that. Had to finally come out, confess that,
And she started just identifying as a black person.
Correct.
Well, we have to respect that. You got to respect it, because race is just a social construct or something. Anyways, she fails. She kicks out of her job. Nobody wants to hire her because she's kind of kooky, and I guess there's no one's in the market for somebody who's transracial, so she gets discriminated against. She can't even get a job, as she said, couldn't get a job as a maid at a hotel. Then she decides, hey, I think people want to see me naked. So she starts with OnlyFans. I looked it up. She said, it's time to show the side nobody else gets to see. Apparently, no one wanted to see it either. You've known me as an artist, an author, an advocate, and a viral name that people talk about. But here's the real me. Fun and sexy and pushing my limits just for you. What you get? Well, you pay and you chat with me daily, naked content, solo videos. I don't know what B&G videos. What is that?
B&G?
Boy and girl videos? I don't know.
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Custom requests and available. She does kids' birthday parties, magic tricks. No, I'm kidding. Anyway, didn't work. Nobody signed up because she's not, they don't want to see her nude. That failed. So then she decides she's going to go to take a bunch of classes to get 300 hours of credit. So
no, I do not think transgender and transracial are the same thing.
She's a sex therapist now, but
yes, that's the other clip.
Oh, here we go. Oh, I'm sorry. Hit the wrong line. Hang on.
Sex coaching focuses on practical skills, communication tools, and really just enhancing pleasure in your current sex life and helping you reach your goals. Well, therapy.
Goal? You get goals?
Some people, I guess.
Therapy dives deeper into your past trauma, mental health, emotional blocks, that kind of thing. So with my practice, I will help clients build confidence for real world intimacy, and if deeper healing is something that they need, I would refer out to a therapist for that.
Oh, okay. She can only take you to a certain level. That's right. Is she still believes she's transracial?
No, I do not think transgender and transracial are the same thing, because they're very different categories, for one.
Yeah.
And for two, our society today allows for gender fluidity and does not acknowledge to the extent that it acknowledges that gender is a social construct, doesn't acknowledge that about race. It doesn't acknowledge that race is a social construct. We say it in words, but we don't say it in actions. And so, to me, I don't believe in the race worldview. I believe it's a fiction. It's science fiction. It's not science fact. The human race doesn't meet the requirements for separate races on a zoological basis. So we are genetically the same race, which is called human.
Okay. Maybe that's the kind of content you could have gotten from her while she's sitting there in her skivvies.
Apparently you could have requested it.
It didn't work. Hardly anybody signed up.
Oh.
It shows you the number. 795 people. 208 videos. Oh, no, she had 76,000 hearts. All right. Was that not enough to make any money doing?
I don't know.
Okay.
Seems like a lot.
Well, she's back again, everybody. So there you go.
Nice.
All right. Here's Nate checking traffic. Nate.
Thank you, sir.
What do you say to that? Nice. Here you go, Nate.
All right. South 5 and 128th coming out of South Everett. A crash still takes up that HOV lane. You're backed up to 526. Everett to Seattle about 50 minutes, and that includes a pretty hefty backup still in Linwood between the 405 interchange and 44th, where we still have the shell of an earlier burned out car on the right shoulder. So it is a bit of a distraction as drivers slow to check it out. Bellevue to Renton, 25 minutes. It's solid from 520 to Cold Creek Parkway before things start to thin out for you. Seattle to Federal Way, a 35-minute drive. You're slow from the Duwamish Curve to 516. North 405, heavy from South Center through the Renton S-curves. Renton to Puyallup on the Valley Freeway, a 45-minute commute. South of State Route 18, you're bumper to bumper all the way into Puyallup. And in Tacoma, North Tacoma specifically, fire crews are working on a roof fire of the Temple Theater. You're going to see a lot of black smoke down there right now. Drivers need to avoid the surrounding area. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
KIRO News Radio, where you turn for the news you depend on.
KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey is here with more.
24% of businesses are now thinking about leaving Washington.
Traffic.
We are definitely seeing some slowing through the S-curves.
Conversation.
We build it, we produce it, we charge for it.
And your Super Bowl champion Seahawks.
A one-hander! Are you kidding me?
Broadcasting live from the KIRO News Radio YouTube channel. KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM.
My son loves to fly kites, but my active psoriatic arthritis can sometimes hold me back. Now with Skyrizi to treat my skin and joints, I'm ready to go. Skyrizi, risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults, helps with less joint pain, stiffness, swelling, and fatigue. For those who also have plaque psoriasis, 90% clearer skin is possible with just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
With Skyrizi, there's nothing like clearer skin and better movement, and that means everything. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi today and visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKY-RIZZI to learn more.
You're losing your hair and you simply need a solution that works. You want the best. Modern technology, top-rated physicians, something that's guaranteed to work. Guys, you need world-class Dr. Perungo and his team at Advanced Hair. Advanced Hair has completely redefined hair restoration. From the experience itself to their unmatched results. Receding hairline, bald spot, thinning hair, maybe all 3 like I had. Get your hair back with Advanced Hair's simple one-day treatment that begins to regrow your own natural hair the very next day. Advanced Hair has changed tens of thousands of lives, including mine. And get this, Advanced Hair is once again the winner of the 425 Business of the Year. For your free consultation, call 425-449-8185. Right now, you'll get $250 off and 250 free hair grafts. Refine your hairline with the team that redefined hair restoration. That's 425-449-8185. Or for the before and afters, visit advancedhair.com.
CM Heating, how can I help?
My lights are flickering and breakers keep tripping.
Sounds like an outdated panel. We'll send an electrician fast and make sure your home is safe.
Thanks.
For panel upgrades, repairs, and all your electrical needs, go to cmheating.com. CMHEA HL754L3.
The Jake and Spike Show.
I looked something up the other day. I didn't even look it up. I said it in a room in my house.
Weekdays noon to 3.
And I have a smart device. And then for 3 days, everywhere, my phone, my computer at work, I see ads for that thing that I was mentioning. It was very specific.
Yeah.
That's a weird thing.
That's technology and AI being used to expand the reach of technology into every aspect of our lives. Everything.
Watch The Jake and Spike Show live or later on the KIRO Newsradio YouTube channel.
Man, I love this place. I've been surfing here since I was a kid. Now, seeing my grandson out on the water, it means everything to me. Watching him and taking in the blue waves, the sea breeze, the blurry horizon.
If you have geographic atrophy, or GA, subtle changes in vision could mean it's progressing toward irreversible vision loss. Izervay is proven to slow GA progression and could help preserve your vision for longer, so you may keep seeing the world around you. Izervay, or avacincaptad pegol, is an eye injection. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may cause blood in the white of the eye, blurred vision, or a temporary increase in eye pressure. Do not drive or use machinery until vision has recovered after an eye injection or exam. Ask your retina specialist how you can slow your GA with Izervay. To learn more, call 1-855-IZERVAY or go to izervay.com. Paid for by Astellas Pharma.
The action is fierce, the energy is over the top, and it's a night you don't want to miss. It's Excite Fight Live MMA at Muckleshoot Casino Resort on Saturday, May 23rd at 7 p.m. See a full night of incredible combat when MMA fighters face off in the cage and turn the excitement all the way up. Get your tickets now at muckleshootcasino.com.
Join in on the conversation by sending a text to 888-973-5476. That's 888-973-KIRO.
Stop living with missing teeth. You may qualify for full mouth implants at a reduced cost using your medical insurance. Call South Seattle Smiles today at 206-241-5533 to see if you're a candidate. SouthSeattleSmiles.com.
If you're hurt in a car accident, call Harold Car Law Offices right away. They'll save you time and get you more money from insurance while you're able to focus on recovering. Visit carlaw.com. 2 R's in car. Car accident? Call CAR.
Your best source for local news. KIRO Newsradio, KIRO FM, and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle, Northwest News.
This is CBS News on the Hour, your home for original reporting.
I'm Jennifer Kuiper. President Trump heads to Beijing to meet with his Chinese counterpart, saying that they're going to have a long talk about the war with Iran, among other things. CBS's Anna Corin is already there.
When President Trump lands in Beijing for this year's most consequential summit, he'll face a very different environment to when he last visited in 2017, with Iran at the top of the list. Trump had postponed the trip back in March, expecting the conflict to be over by the time he met with President Xi. Instead, it's following him to China.
Before leaving for China, President Trump is asked by a reporter that when negotiating with Iran, to what extent are American financial situations motivating?
Not even a little bit. The only thing that matters when I'm talking about Iran, they can't have a nuclear weapon. I don't think about American financial situation. I don't think about anybody. I think about one thing. We cannot let Iran have a nuclear weapon. That's all.
President Trump adds, quote, every American understands. Data from the Labor Department shows inflation climbed 3.8% last month, the highest seen since May 2023, and fueled in part by the war with Iran. CBS's Jason Allen reports the squeeze is putting pressure on Americans already struggling to make ends meet.
Consumers across the country are now weighing where to spend their money.
My wages aren't rising, but my bills keep rising.
It's not supposed to be like this. It doesn't have to be like this.
And the frustration is spilling out on social media.
The head of the World Health Organization says global leaders should prepare to see more cases of hantavirus amid ongoing efforts to contain it. 18 U.S. citizens are now being monitored at facilities in Georgia and Nebraska. CBS's Ian Lee has heard from medical correspondent and editor-at-large for KFF Health News, Dr. Celine Gounder.
While the Andes strain responsible for the deadly outbreak can spread from person to person, experts stress this is not the start of another pandemic.
It is less infectious. COVID was airborne. Most of the transmissions with hantavirus are direct, intimate contact.
Health officials say symptoms of the virus can appear up to 42 days after exposure, but they insist the risk to the public remains low.
Medical examiner Sterling McLaren says of the 41-year-old man who scaled a Denver airport fence, ran onto a runway, and was struck and killed by a Frontier Airlines plane.
The best way to determine manner is to evaluate the totality of the investigation, scene findings, circumstances, and history. And based on all of those findings together, we determined the manner of death to be suicide.
This is CBS News.
The stars shine brighter on CBS Morning.
This is a slam dunk.
So cute.
Carol came in singing for me today.
On CBS Mornings.
A historic building catches fire in downtown Tacoma. A live report coming up after Nate Connors at the traffic desk.
All right, let's start you up in South Everett, where we finally cleared this crash, South 5 at 128th. It's on your left shoulder. Traffic still packed to 526. It'll take just a little bit for this to start to thin out. Everett to Seattle remains a 50-minute commute. Still a little crowded through Linwood, starting at the interchange. And then once you get into Seattle, you're slow from the U District to I-90. North 5 remains bumper to bumper from the Michigan Curve to the Ship Canal. 45 minutes to get through this. Crossing the lake, we're at 25 minutes on I-90, 35 on 520. Bellevue to Renton, right around a half hour. You're bumper to bumper from 520 down to Cold Creek Parkway. And then you'll thin out, but you're not in the clear until you reach the Renton S-curves. Seattle to Federal, a 35-minute drive. Typical backups here starting at the Duwamish Curve. Renton to Puyallup on the Valley Freeways at 45 minutes. North End, you're dealing with scattered slowing, but it's bumper to bumper from State Route 18 into Puyallup. And if you're seeing a lot of smoke there in North Tacoma, we're going to get to that in just a second, but fire crews are working on a roof fire, and you need to avoid that surrounding area. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
KIRO News Radio, breaking news.
And good evening, I'm Aaron Gornello. As you heard from Nate, black smoke right now billowing over Tacoma. KIRO News Radio's Frank Lenzi reports live.
That smoke coming from a fire on a deck on the roof of the Temple Theater in downtown Tacoma. It's located off of St. Helens Avenue. Chelsea Shepard is with Tacoma Fire.
This fire is very visible from the freeway, from most of Tacoma. Because it is downtown, it is near the water. It's a very visible plume of smoke right now.
The fire did go to a second alarm. Crews appear to have it contained to the deck, but the building has obviously been evacuated. Nobody's been hurt at this point, and it certainly is not out. The latest pictures that we're seeing from just a couple of minutes ago still have that thick black plume of smoke, and you can see the flames coming off the roof as well. Again, no injuries here. We don't know yet how it started. This theater was built in 1926.
All right, thank you, Frank. We will keep you updated with that. Three King County residents were potentially exposed to Hanta virus linked to that outbreak on a cruise ship. County Health Officer Dr. Sandra Valenciano says two of them were sitting on a plane and near a passenger who later tested positive.
I want to reiterate that there are currently no cases of the virus in King County, and the risk to the public remains low.
Both residents returned to King County. They are asymptomatic and monitoring for symptoms at home. The third King County resident is also not showing symptoms. They're at a national quarantine center in Nebraska. A former Gonzaga men's basketball star has died at the age of 29. Memphis Grizzlies forward Brandon Clark played 7 seasons in the NBA. According to TMZ, his death is being investigated as a possible overdose. City of Seattle now projecting an almost $500 million budget deficit over the next 3 years. KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey on how Mayor Katie Wilson plans to close the gap.
In an interview on the Seattle Channel, Mayor Katie Wilson said her team is looking at creating one tax.
I think capital gains tax is absolutely on the table.
And she mentioned another tax idea at a recent public Q&A at Seattle University.
If the city can do local income tax, I'm very willing to explore that.
However, Wilson says there's no silver bullet to solve her team's projected $488 million combined general fund deficits through 2029. That means, she says, budget cuts that could include laying off city workers. Luke Ducey, KIRO News Radio.
And now to your forecast. Looking at some high clouds this evening, increasing clouds tomorrow, along with chilly weather, rain, could be breezy as well. Right now, though, 81 in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with the KIRO Newsradio App. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
There we go. I'm sure people are going to want to text because after the thing this guy says, it always lights up the text line, 1-888-973-5476. Hang on. Here we go, Devin.
The Chicken
Yeah, not the Chicken Spice. John Curley Show. All right, hot off the press, Seattle Times reports. Let's see. Here's the headline. Complaints allege Let's Go Washington violated campaign finance laws. Brian Haywood, what say you?
It's where do I start? It's the same sort of union. It's all the people that are going to get money from the taxes that are trying to do a smear campaign and stop freedom of speech.
I'm going to read the first paragraph for you. Campaign finance watchdog has filed a complaint against Let's Go Washington, alleging the conservative political committee failed to properly disclose political advertising ties to two statewide initiative campaigns.
They, I think they're trying to claim that when Brandy Cruz mentions, in fact, you could be a target of this, John. Yeah. If anybody mentions it, if anyone uses their freedom of speech, I'm not trying to throw it on you. But anyone that even mentions this, that your freedom of speech goes away if you mention it, if you're doing anything on the air. And that's a lot of, if you're the Seattle Times and you're getting, your advertisers are all pushing for the CCA and you write stuff towards the CCA, shouldn't that be a contribution that's not reported? I mean, this is a ridiculous attention-grabbing scheme by an they call themselves a nonprofit, but I looked them up. There's no 990 that's ever been filed on these guys. They have no record of a 990 on the federal level. So,
well, they have to file a 990 as a nonprofit to show where their expenses and what their revenues are. That they could be in violation. But it's a 24-page complaint filed by Washington for Ethical Government. I guess they probably don't have a particular favored person, left or right, because they're Washingtonians for Ethical Government. So I'm sure they go after just everybody as fair game. Alleging that Let's Go Washington failed to report the financial value of more than 150 individual instances of promotional political advertising that the group identified by conservative podcaster and former TV journalist Brandy Cruz, as well as other in-kind, non-cash contributions and organizations. So they had a big press conference this morning at 10 o'clock, and that's where they presented all this sort of stuff. And they went after Brandy, saying, I guess their case is, Brandy was advocating, and you guys we're not paying her, but you should have been paying her. It was an in-kind in a way. So then on your public disclosure, you should have put in there, we were giving like in-kind. Brandy's mentions were of value, and we didn't consider that value in our accounting. Is that their rule? Is that what they're saying?
That's what they're trying to say. They're saying if you're a personality and you support something, anything that you do actually then would count towards a contribution to the underlying cause. Oh. And I think there's been cases with KVI, that already had this back with Kirby Wilbur and John Carlson that went the wrong way for these guys. If you read the last paragraph of her statement, whoever the lady is, right? Yeah. The union, Katie Wilson's buddy. If you read the last paragraph of her statement, it says even if the PDC finds that what they did was okay, we're now asking the PDC to change the rules to do it like we'd like it to be, so that we can go after them.
Can I get swept up in this? I could use some publicity.
Everybody, we'll set up a contact so that everybody can be a part of this.
Quote, I believe that disclosure requirements are one of the few tools that democracies have to counter hidden donors who might be funding ads or disinformation, said Pam Stewart, spokesperson for Washingtonians for Ethical Government, a member of Sammamish City Council, said at the Tuesday press conference. Here's some breaking news for you. Ready, Brian?
I'm ready. I'm braced.
Brandy Cruz is suing Miss Stewart. for defamation. Because what it is to me, and Brandy would say, what they're trying to do is they're trying to damage my reputation, to financially hurt me by sweeping me up in this thing and making these false charges against me. And the defamation to show that a false statement used to harm somebody's reputation. It's not always easy to prove, but why do they spend 24 pages to go after Brandy on this and then also go after you on this? And then I guess they're tying it into the Seattle Times story. They did a story about this woman. She's a Christian. She lives in the state of Washington. She doesn't like gay marriage, right? Okay, there's probably a lot of Christians that don't like gay marriage. They do this big profile on her that she's going to be speaking this event, and then they happen to mention also at the event.
Right.
Is you.
Brandy and Brian, yeah.
Right. So therefore,
I didn't know about it until I read it in the newspaper, and I talked to the writer, and I said, I never even heard of this person. And he said, oh yeah, neither had I. I just found him on the internet. And I said, really? That's sort of really interesting that the timing you did this is right the day before this big presser that comes out with these people. It feels to me like these guys, this power, what is it? Powerhouse Strategies. Is that the group?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
If you look on their website, these guys, they opposed all of our initiatives before. Their clients are predominantly public unions. I'm sure that they've got some. What they're doing is a contribution in kind to the campaign against all these initiatives. So maybe we can just get in a battle of flying lawsuits against them, right? I mean, this is just ridiculous. This is like mutually assured destruction. If we all just sort of burn each other down, then we can't have nice things and we can't vote.
Let's just follow the line of logic. So they do a big article on this woman who doesn't like gay marriage. Then they have you appearing there, and they have Brandy. Then they could say, well, Brandy and Brian, because they're in the same room with this woman who is speaking about the fact that as a Christian, she doesn't like the fact that the federal government recognizes gay marriage. Then therefore, guilt by association for you, Brian, guilt by association for Brandy. Right. And then when you talk about stuff like boys out of girls sports, well, it's because, you hate gays and, every single letter of the alphabet that we included in the list. You're also, a bigot, and you're anti-trans and you're anti-gay. They just sweep you all in there. They don't actually have to say it. They could just, have it in a couple of paragraphs. It's a pretty smart move on their part. It's a nice try.
Yeah, that's the smear by insinuation. And I think that they've missed that the people that are really supporting our initiatives protecting girls' sports, overwhelmingly, our biggest allies have been the lesbian community who said,
hey, Brian,
look, if I was...
Brian, it sounds like, Brian, you're going to reconnect because you're all like robotic for a moment. And just move it around or we're going to have to sue you. Yeah. We'll have them reconnect there, Andrew. Yeah, so the case is now boiled into a bigger thing. And as Brian, when he gets back on, might address the fact that they're scared. They have to hurt the character of the individuals that don't want you to be taxed. They have to hurt the characters of the individual, like Brandy Cruz, who just simply doesn't think it's a good idea to have boys competing against girls, as that is a easy poll number. It's about 80% of people are in favor of having girls compete against girls, boys compete against boys. And if you want to have the own category for trans, that could be the case, but certainly not a boy competing against a girl. Those are the things that are coming forward. So you just try to smear these guys. So that's what's happening. And as Brandy, I think she has put it up on her, might be up on Instagram, that Pam Stewart will be facing a lawsuit from Brandy because you can't defame somebody like that. Let's see if Brandy put it up. I think she mentioned it. Let's see. So she's going after her and wants to make sure that what did she say about her? Yeah. It's not listed in there. But the Miss Stewart, who is on the Sonoma City Council, she can expect to be served at some point because just trying to hurt somebody and having the intention of saying something about somebody in public, then writing it as well. And defamation is to be able to show that the person with malice and the intent is to do harm, and you make a statement that you know is not true, and then you hope it hurts the person financially, hurts the reputation in public, and then you end up having to pay for the damages. So Brandy is going after a Sammamish City Council member who I'm sure Sammamish doesn't care to have their name swept up in what one of their members, Pam Stewart, is involved in. But Brandy's quite serious about this. So, man, I'm looking at her on Instagram. You don't want to get in that girl's way. So, Miss Stewart, you're going to have some splaining to do. And as we get Brian to hook back up again, I do want to ask him what he thinks about the opponents filing at the last minute at 4:59 p.m. on the day, 5 to kill Let's Go Washington signature window. Do you have it? Okay. So, Brian, you're back on. The opponents are trying everything. How about when they filed at 4:59 p.m. on the day in order to kill the signature gathering? That's a pretty good move.
Yeah, well, it was a sneaky thing, but we actually we chose a different initiative than what they were going after, right? And so we were able to. We don't have the initiative we have didn't get a challenge on the ballot title, so we probably saved ourselves 6 weeks of them trying to screw us around with the timing, and made it so that we're collecting signatures today. We start today.
Do you want people to join your army? People that are out there. What are you looking for? How many signature gatherers do you think you need?
As many as I can get, because anybody that gathers signatures is going to vote for it, right? And they're going to tell their friends. So we've got over 5,000 people who have signed up which is double sort of what the normal pace is. We've had that in like 3 weeks. We've got 5,000 people that have signed up on our website, letsgowa.com, to get signatures and gather them. I want 1 million people in this state. I got 1 million names that have signed at least one of our initiatives. I want all of them. I want to overwhelm them.
Did you see Tim Eyman's piece? I think Danny Westing wrote about it in the Times. And Eyman says he thinks that the voters are going to support a millionaire's tax.
Yeah, and Danny Westing is kind of the Tim Eyman of journalism. I saw it, and I think if Tim Eyman is saying that, then now then you should do the opposite of it. I used to have a lot of sympathy for him. He knows a lot of this space, but he's got an agenda to try to, he's been hammered by the attorney general. He owes millions of dollars he'll never be able to pay off. He's just been brutalized by the attorney general, and he's in fundraising mode. So I wasn't.
He's also a prime
by his plea.
He's a prime target for Washingtonians for Ethical Government, or whatever the name of that organization is. He is their whipping boy. You look at this. The people you talk to, you're not in the room with the 20,000 people that are supposed to be affected by this. But you see the numbers when the state of Washington says, "Oh, it's only going to hit a teeny tiny percentage of people. It's not going to go anywhere else." But you know that they've hired a whole bunch of accountants. They've taken a ton of money. They've set it aside because they're coming after everybody. Will I, even though I don't make $1 million, will I have to start to file an income tax report with the state of Washington?
Well, that's the big question, isn't it? How are they going to enforce this? They do have. I know that the Speaker of the House has access to the IRS data, which is where they're kind of coming up with their estimate. I don't think that it's completely accurate, but there's going to be all these gray things. Like they're saying, if you're in the state for more than 30 days and you have a house, then you owe the tax. But how are they going to find that out unless they start requiring people to fill it out and I also don't think for a second they're stopping it at the $1 million threshold, because they've already written the laws. Everybody owes the tax. It's just you got $1 million deduction, which is to your point, right? What they're really saying is this is an income tax on everybody. You get $1 million deduction. Well, how do you prove that without them doing some invasive investigative work on the citizens of Washington State?
Because just sort of following the line of logic, if the price of something goes up, people buy less of it. If you incentivize, they buy more of it. Taxes will cause people to make changes. So the rich, and we just talked about this, I just happened to mention a friend of mine said a friend of his, $1 billion business, he's taking 1,000 employees out of here. So as they leave, then the targets will change for the folks in Olympia that want more of your money to provide all sorts of wonderful services for everybody. They will then go, well, we don't have as many of those people, so we have to look for somebody else. We have to start, moving down the income level. because the others have left that can leave. And then it's going to fall on everybody else. So you believe of the 5,000 people that have already signed up to do these initiatives, I'm assuming hardly any of them are millionaires, but they can smell, they can see, they know what's coming.
That's exactly. I would be surprised if we have any millionaires in that 5,000 people. They all know. There's three things, right? Number one, they don't trust Olympia. Why should they? Olympia is basically saying, "Oh no, don't worry. But it's really a marketing gimmick, and everyone can see through it." Number two, they saw Olympia try to stop them from even having a vote with this through the blocking the referendum process. And then number three, everyone's going, "Hey, well, Olympia's budget has doubled. It's up 100% the last 10 years, but I've had to live within my budget. Why can't they learn to live within their budget in Olympia?"
Yeah.
And I think that the average sees that, and it resonates with them.
Do you believe that this will be a sea change in the state of Washington, that the folks in Olympia will get a major wake-up call, like they're going to get swatted by the voters, that all of a sudden, even the Ds that vote hard D, hate the R, hate Republicans, hate Trump, all that, do you think they all of a sudden go, look, I'm going to hold my nose and vote for somebody other than a Democrat because I don't want to have my money wasted?
I don't know if they're ready to do that yet, but I'll tell you what I think they will do. I think there's 5 judges, 5 Supreme Court justices that are up, that are more constitutionally oriented. There's 5 candidates that are constitutionally oriented running against a group of progressives. I think people will vote for that. It's a nonpartisan issue. I think we've got to get the message out there, but I absolutely think that when people understand this income tax, people that are not paying attention to it, when they understand this income tax is coming for everybody, we win 60-40. And I think they'll push it there. And I think there's some districts where, the weak districts, the places where the Democrats let the legislator vote against the income tax, where they let a Democrat vote against it, that's a district where the district is not in alignment with what's going on in Olympia.
Right.
And I think in those districts you could see some change, right?
Yeah. Well,
and if we can push all that, I think it'll force Olympia to at least temper the sort of unending assault they're having on personal freedom here.
Yeah. If people want ballots or they want to sign up, if they want to go out and get signatures, where do they go?
Let'sGoWA.com. We'll send it to them. We got a system set up. They go on real quick, Let'sGoWA.com, put their information in. We'll send them initiatives. We're asking them to, get them filled out and get them sent back into us. We got a short time frame. We've only got 51 days starting today.
Yeah.
But we've done it in the past. We did 48 days. We did 540,000 signatures with natural gas. So.
Well, listen, if the Washingtonians for Ethical Government have anything to say about it, they apparently people can go forward all of your ballots to you, Brian Hayward, because you should be in jail.
I'm a criminal. Yeah.
Yes, you are. All right. Well, the connection we have with you is criminal. All right. I got to go do traffic. Keep up the good work. All right. Thanks, Brian Hayward. Appreciate it.
Thank you, sir. All right. Don't get in a wreck. Take care.
Goodbye.
All right, Seattle to Everett, plan on 50 minutes. Scattered slowing between Northgate and Mill Creek. Bellevue to Everett, a 1-hour drive. It's about to climb. It is solid right now from Kirkland to Alderwood, and you're just barely in second and third gears through Kirkland. You're moving pretty slow, and we're just now hearing of a new crash between 527 and Damson Road up there in Canyon Park. Bellevue to Renton, a half hour, slow from 520 all the way down to the Renton S-curves. Really thick between Mid-Bellevue and past Coal Creek Parkway. North 405 in the south end, you're slow from South Center through the S-curves, just under 25 minutes from South Center to Bellevue now. North 405 in Seattle is bumper to bumper from the Michigan Curve to the Ship Canal Bridge. 40 minutes to get through this. Northbound 99, you're packed through the downtown tunnel. And in North Tacoma, you'll see a lot of black smoke billowing up in the air because fire crews are working this roof fire on the Temple Theater, and drivers need to avoid the surrounding area. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Tomorrow night, the answers from the man himself, Dr. Mark Wagner, MD. If you have got problems with your knees, your ankle, your wrist, whatever it is, the joints just aren't working anymore. If you sound like a percussion instrument whenever you stand up from a chair, everything's cracking and busting on you. You can't even run. You can't play golf anymore. Maybe you've just even given up hiking or biking or anything because, well, the joints just don't seem to work anymore. And you're facing the surgeon's knife. Before that happens, tomorrow night at 6 o'clock, Dr. Mark Wagner, who's done more than 20,000 stem cell procedures, including working on my hip, thank you, doctor, will be answering your calls about stem cell procedures. He's done 20,000. It's in about a 90-minute procedure right there in the office. I went to work the same day. If you've got questions and you've got problems, Dr. Mark Wagner has got a live free webinar tomorrow. You can register at drmarkwagnermd.com. Don't miss this opportunity, drmarkwagnermd.com.
The Jake and Spike Show.
I looked something up the other day. I didn't even look it up. I said it in a room in my house.
Weekdays noon to 3.
And I have a smart device. And then for 3 days, everywhere, my phone, my computer at work, I see ads for that thing that I was mentioning. It was very specific.
Yeah.
That's a weird thing.
That's technology and AI being used to expand the reach of technology into every aspect of our lives. Everything.
Watch the Jake and Spike Show live or later on the KIRO Newsradio YouTube channel.
Olympic Hot Tub has terrific ways to achieve total wellness at home. Saltwater hot tubs, swim spas, saunas, and cold plunges, all waiting for you. See our current specials with exciting savings at olympichottub.com. Better you, better life.
Hey, Jake Skorheim here. Summer's right around the corner. Procrastinators, beware. Valentine Roofing schedule is filling up now, and you don't want to be stuck with the other guys. So call 206 Roofing today, and Valentine can still start your roof in as little as 3 weeks. Then you can enjoy barbecuing on your deck in the backyard without worrying about old shingles falling on your head. So call 206 Roofing today, and I guarantee there'll be no surprise, just a clear estimate that you can trust. Call 206 Roofing, and remember, when you see the red Valentine van, you know your home is in good hands.
Do you notice sounds coming from your crawl space or attic, or possibly stale or foul odors in your home? This could be that rodents have gotten into your attic and crawl and have made it their home. They tear up the insulation to make nests to have babies. They contaminate it with their biological waste, which can be harmful to your health. And they ruin your home's energy blanket, costing you thousands of dollars a year. If you even think you may have a problem, call Insulation Northwest today, and we will come to your home as soon as tomorrow and perform a free, no-obligation inspection to determine what the problem is. This inspection normally costs $199, but it's yours free just for calling today. If we discover any problem with rodents in your home, we can get them out and keep them out and restore your home's protective insulation blanket back to brand new condition. Let Insulation Northwest give peace and comfort back to you and your family and save you thousands of dollars in energy savings. Call Insulation Northwest today, the real insulation company.
InsulationNorthwest.com.
Around here, we see a lot of people head out. No matter where they're going, we just help make sure they're ready. Before you hit the road, get a pre-trip safety check from Les Schwab Tires. It's free. Plus, this May, save up to $200 on select sets of 4 tires, including all-terrain, highway, all-season, and all-weather. So go ahead. Explore with confidence. Les Schwab Tires. We're here to help you take the long way. Limited time offer while supplies last. See leschwab.com/sale for details.
Did you know that most people wait 6 or 7 years before they buy a new TV? That's a lot of time in front of one TV. So why not get one of the best sets for the next 7 years, like one of the top-rated Samsung, LG, or Sony models? Too expensive? What if you could get up to $1,000 trade-in for your old set? Who would do a stupid deal like this? Right now, at Video Only, you can get big bucks for your old set as a trade-in and a hot price on the new models. Don't be sorry. Check out Video Only.
Hey, it's Jason Rance. I'm here with our local tax expert and advocate, Greg Nunn from None Better Tax Resolution. One thing the IRS has been working on is to modernize their infrastructure, the software that they use. And, you know, we look at that and say that's great for government efficiency, but in this case, that kind of efficiency means they're spotting people way faster.
They're able to do that, and they have to do that because they have fewer personnel. But look at your own work environment, how technology is replacing people, and you can get as much work done or more with the proper technology. And that's what the IRS's goal is that we need to use technology, especially AI, to make determinations on, okay, who should we go after? Who are we missing?
If you're having trouble with the IRS, then call Greg Nunn. None Better Tax Resolution. From stress to success with IRS Solutions. 425-947-1967 or Google NUNN. None Better Tax Resolution.
KIRO News Radio, continuing coverage.
Good evening. I'm Aaron Granello. The historic Old Temple Theater in downtown Tacoma is on fire. Crews say the flames are contained to the roof of that building. Chelsea Shepard is with Tacoma Fire.
And it's very visible. People all over Tacoma can see this huge plume of smoke. However, it does appear to be contained to just the rooftop deck. It does not seem to have spread into the building.
Now, crews say they do have this under control now, but they're asking you to avoid the area as they search for hotspots. No injuries to reports and no word yet on how it started. This building was built about 100 years ago. We have new details about a weekend fatal shooting at a Lake City tap room. KIRO News Radio's James Lynch reports the suspect had a first court appearance today.
Court documents indicate surveillance video from the Growler Guy's tap room showed the victim, affectionately known as Q, arriving with a man and a woman after the business was closed. As Q turns to unlock a rear door, the suspect allegedly pulls a handgun and shoots Q multiple times. Today, a King County judge ruled there is probable cause for second-degree murder and set the suspect's bail at $2 million. Charges are expected by the end of the week. In Seattle, James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
Well, Seattle area paychecks are falling behind the rate of inflation. New federal data shows local inflation running at 4.9%. That's more than a full point above the national rates. CBS's Kelly O'Grady says gas prices are up nearly 26% here from a year ago.
The White House is telling folks to be patient, that they knew that this would happen. But, broadly, we have heard the White House talk about suspending the federal gas tax. I think that is an indication that they are understanding that there is some frustration from Americans, especially as things are costing more going into a very important midterm election.
Washington State is ramping up its fights against Spartina. This is an aggressive and invasive weed threatening local estuaries. The Department of Agriculture says this year's treatment season will start in June, targeting hotspots from Puget Sound to the coast and the Columbia River. Officials say removing Spartina is critical to protect salmon habitat, shorelines, and the state's shellfish industry. Now to the real-time traffic desk at 5:34. Here's Nate Connors.
And this is brought to you by Lake Washington Windows and Doors. Bellevue to Everett up to an hour and 10 minutes as we had thought would happen because of that collision up in Canyon Park. So we're solid between Kirkland and Alderwood, but we just cleared that crash in Canyon Park just before Damson Road. But it was there long enough to cause a bumper-to-bumper backup starting at 522. So it's a real tough commute here. Seattle to Everett, 50 minutes. You're slow between Northgate and Mill Creek. South 5 heading into Seattle. Just a brief backup, really, from 520 to I-90. Linwood to Seattle is just 20 minutes, and that includes more slowing in Shoreline to get through as well. North 5, you're solid from the Michigan Curve to the Ship Canal Bridge. 40 minutes to get through this backup. Bellevue to Renton, plan on a half hour. Northbound 405 in the south end is slow from South Center through the S-curves. Just under 25 minutes from South Center to Bellevue. Northbound 99 through Seattle is packed through that downtown tunnel, and as Aaron had just mentioned, you're seeing a lot of smoke coming out of that fire in North Tacoma, so it's a big distraction, and we're seeing traffic jam up there a bit on the freeway and surrounding streets. You want to avoid the surrounding area. Feel the freedom of lower energy bills this Memorial Day. Get $525 off every window, $1,000 off every door, plus 12 months zero-interest financing. Visit LakeWashingtonWindows.com. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Thank you, Nate. Now to your forecast. Looking at some clouds tonight and temperatures on the warm side. Low 80s right now across the map. Big cool down for tomorrow, though. It'll be chilly, rainy, and increasingly breezy for Wednesday. Right now, 80 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
All right. Brandy chose Ari over us, Joe. That's not right.
How's that make you feel?
Bad. See if she's apologizing. Oh, okay. Sorry. I'll come on after with you if you want. Oh, okay, yeah. No, we're not doing that. That's not who we are.
You don't have her on at 6?
No. I guess my dance card was full. Hers was, anyway. Song started and I walked across the gym floor. I saw her standing there. She saw me coming and she looked away. And then she saw Ari. I don't know what it is. Maybe she's She likes those Orthodox guys. Anyway, she danced with Ori, not me. So I'm left awkwardly rocking back and forth on the dance floor. Donna Summer's last dance, last chance. And all I can do is spin the Wilcox Family Farm Eggs recipe wheel to soothe my soul. Brightly colored lights spinning with names of all the players, and Andrew's not listening.
I'm on the phone with somebody right now. Wow.
Wow. I walk back across the dance floor. I see Andrew there. He sees me, but then he looks away because he's on the phone while we're in the middle of doing a show.
Well, it's the news desk phone. Aaron should be out there taking it, but he's not, so I take it.
Wow.
And it's just
I'm here waiting for the wheel.
Forget
I
it.
am too.
What? You missed it. You're on the phone.
Wow, guys.
Who called, by the way?
I think you know who called.
I don't.
Crazy lady.
Ah. Oh, got it.
Okay.
She's going to love hearing that.
Oh, there it goes. Names of all the players on the wheel.
I love her.
And Crazy Lady is also included on the wheel. And it lands on...
He stayed for it. Might as well.
Oh, boy. I'll tell you what I made this morning.
Oh, okay.
Avocado toast.
Yes.
And then a little everything bagel seasoning on my avocado toast. And then what I did is I added a fried egg with
Didn't see that coming.
pickled onions and arugula and a little bit of Cholula.
In the at home?
At home, yeah.
Yum!
It was really good.
That's going to the first chapter.
This is like your house? Like, were there people over? Were you charging people?
No, it takes 5 minutes. I mean, people act like it's hard to make food. It's not, once you know how to do it. It's an egg with toast.
Not just any egg. It's a Wilcox Family Farm eggs. Thank you.
Right.
That's
It was
going
really
in the book.
tasty.
Yeah. But that's going to be, let's send that out on a monthly for everybody.
Yes.
Newsletter. All right, Andrew, you're answering any more phones?
No.
So how many, King County, 3 King County residents potentially exposed to the Hanta virus. Now, this is the one that's from the Andes, which Andes, right. This is, the rats there are very specific in the South America. The virus, this particular virus, can go from human to human. Most often it just goes rat to person, and then that's it. But this one, this strain.
The Magic Andes strain.
Okay, here we go. They are asymptomatic. It takes, I think, 6 weeks for it to maybe really go full blown. They're being monitored. They're resting comfortably. Some of the other passengers are at University of Nebraska Medical Center. You got a good side. You got to look at the bright side. How many of these people that were on this cruise ship would have ever gone to Nebraska at any time in their life?
I mean, it just makes the decision for them.
I know, but you're like, we were okay. We're fine. Nothing. And we got a chance to see Nebraska.
From the inside of a quarantine room.
Again, at least we spent some time in Nebraska. The infections are rare, but lead to severe illnesses and can eventually lead to death. So there you go. And now for Joe. I'll give you 2 minutes. Do you want to mention?
No, what about, we're cruise ship guys back in the news. We talked about him yesterday.
This, again, makes no sense. Cruise ship guy Jake, whose odd videos we've discussed yesterday, right? Interviewing Good Morning America from Nebraska.
How are you holding up in quarantine?
Holding up pretty well. I mean, I was relieved to get off the ship and have a plan in place, and they're treating us really, really well here. So I can't ask for anything more than that.
We're glad that you're doing so well. Can you take us back on the ship? The first time that you knew that something just wasn't right, when was that?
So honestly, I know that
Honestly. By the way, when people start a sentence with honestly,
timeline has already been put out there. And for me, it just felt like weird coincidences. And honestly, I didn't think anything was wrong until we found out that it was hantavirus. And that's when I was scared. Because as you know, when you hear about a virus you don't really know
Joe.
about.
I'm flipping all the cards. What's the problem with this guy?
Why is he the only guy anybody's heard from? There were 150 people on this cruise. Nobody posted on social media except for this guy. Nobody posted, hey, I'm scared. Stop talking about us. We got the hantavirus, except this guy. And now he's in quarantine, and he's the only one that's talking to the media. Where's everybody else?
They're all probably 75 years old and don't know how to use a phone.
You think so? That seems highly unlikely.
So what's his angle then? Why is cruise ship Jake doing all the public stuff?
I don't know. I mean, he just screams crisis actor to me. He's the one guy that we're hearing from, and he happened to be.
What are you saying? It's not true?
No, I'm saying that this seems it seems awfully convenient, and then all of a sudden you get a 42-day quarantine virus that has been lying dormant in the Andes in Argentina for I don't know ever apparently. This one strain. How come nobody else has gotten this strain in Argentina? Why hasn't it been flying all around South America?
You're not promoting these theories, but what you're saying is stuff just isn't adding up. And is it leading to a rabbit hole? Is it really about Moderna had the vaccination for this thing a number of years ago, and then the patent was running out, and now is it a plandemic? A scamdemic?
If it is, and COVID had a 5-day quarantine period, all of a sudden you've got one with a 42-day quarantine period. Like, oh, you want to shut things down? 42 days is pretty good way to do it. I'm just saying.
Oh my gosh, really?
The weirdest thing about it is this guy. Honestly, you saw the videos yesterday. I mean, he had a video from COVID and the exact same video essentially from this cruise ship.
The weird part is the video from when his COVID video, he was wearing the exact same clothes.
Yeah.
His beard was the same length, and I think he had the same hat on or the same hair length.
Yeah, it looked like he was shooting it from the exact same place.
Okay. Obviously, more on this tomorrow.
A quick question with that.
Yes, man in the back there.
Yes, the bald head man.
I was going to say that.
I know. I could see it in your eyes. The Hanta virus, the cruise people, why are they being quarantined in the middle of the country and not on coming off the ship right there on the coast? Why are they sending him to, where is it, Nebraska?
They have a special quarantine, a government-owned quarantine hospital in Nebraska, apparently.
Yes, they do.
Yeah.
They have a lot of military bases in Nebraska.
So that's why there's no other quarantine hospital, I guess, on the coast?
It beats me.
Well, you're the producer, Joe.
I just assume that's where they take them to. For what? And
in the middle of the country.
Okay. And everybody everybody else says it's not a big deal. It's overblown. Well, with all the hazmat suits and the Nebraska quarantine.
Heard it. Move
on. Okay, sorry.
Sorry, it's okay. Sorry.
Bellevue to Everett, an hour 15. It is solid from Kirkland to Alderwood. You get really thick heading into Bothell. Seattle to Everett is still 50 minutes. We're still slow from Northgate up into Mill Creek. South 5, just a brief backup from 520 to I-90 here through the core of downtown. Linwood to Seattle, 25 minutes. But you do have another back up in Shoreline to get through. Crossing the lake from Bellevue to Seattle, it's a half hour now on both bridge routes. Bellevue to Renton, a half hour. Federal Way to Tacoma, 20 minutes. But you're slow from 320th all the way down to the Puyallup River Bridge. And then in Tacoma, you're going to jam up in front of the Tacoma Dome over to State Route 16. That may have something to do with drivers slowing down to check out our huge fire in North Tacoma, where you can see black smoke billowing off this roof still at the Temple Theater. We're a good hour or so into this fire. Crews are getting the upper hand, but you need to avoid the surrounding area. It's obviously still ongoing. Global Credit Union, where members enjoy no-fee accounts and early payday with direct deposit. Learn more at globalcu.org. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Thank you, Nate. I know what it's like when that hair begins to thin and you feel like Nate, the crown disappears. The hair loss just robs you of your identity. It's how I felt before I visited Advanced Hair, because Advanced Hair has got a simple one-day treatment. They regrew my own natural hair. They do the exact same thing for you because it's going away. It's thinning in the back or thinning in the sides. Whatever it is, it's your hair, and it's decided it doesn't love you anymore, and it would rather be down the drain than on your head. So what do? Well, do what I did, say 14 years ago. I think it was 14 years ago. You set up a free consultation. You give them a call. They give you $250 off, $250 free hair graft by calling 425-449-8185. You don't want to wait because your own natural hair is guaranteed to grow. And get this, once again, they are the winner of the 425 Business of the Year. I'm talking about Advanced Hair. You give them a call at 425-449-8185 and check out the before and after pictures right there for you on advancedhair.com. That's advancedhair.com.
Chokepoints with Chris Sullivan.
With Chokepoints, we try to answer listeners' questions. It can be as simple as a neighborhood stop sign, or it can be as big as the budget for transportation. I don't care. I'll find the answer for you. It's really easy to get a hold of me at mynorthwest.com. We have a direct link there that gets right to me. You can also do it in the app. You can hit me up on the text line.
Chokepoints, presented by Carter Subaru. Tuesdays and Thursdays on KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM.
30 years ago, Davis Law Group was founded to be the best law firm for our clients and our community. Our core values are to win, help, and serve. It means our success is defined by the difference we make in our clients' lives and the impact we can have in our community. Not by giant settlement checks or shiny offices. Our mission to lift up the vulnerable extends beyond the courtroom to our charity partners, promoting safety, uplifting students, accident victims, foster youth, and the elderly. If you've been injured and want better results for your claim and for all of Washington, call Davis Law Group today.
Hey, you know Earthwise Salvage in Soto? That really cool place with all the amazing doors, windows, and other treasure? Great news! They just opened a brand new location nearby. The Salvage Lumber Warehouse is ready to serve as a central resource for contractors, builders, home DIYers, and hobbyist woodworkers, providing access to cleaned, de-nailed lumber ready for reuse, flooring, beams, siding, mantles, live edge slabs, and so much more. All harvested from structures, not forests. Visit EWSalvage.com.
Jason Rance here with our local tax expert and advocate, Greg Nunn from None Better Tax Resolution. So, Greg, not all tax resolution companies are the same. There are some that are definitely not local. There are others that don't quite know what they're doing even.
Well, I tell you, these ads that all of us hear, Fresh Start program, they make you feel like, hey, man, I can just easy peasy get my taxes written off. No. And I've had several clients actually come to me after going through that process, and they just get no response after a while. They're passed around from person to person. That doesn't happen at my firm.
You are familiar with the cases that come in. You're working on them.
I'm familiar with every case that comes into our office. And I know what's going on and have the ability to really advise our taxpayers very well on what to do.
If you're having trouble with the IRS, then call Greg Nunn. None Better Tax Resolution, from stress to success with IRS Solutions. 425-947-1967 or Google NUNN. None Better Tax Resolution.
You could sleep through the night without thinking twice. You could take a seat in the middle of the theater. You could drive without worry of where the next restroom is. You used to say yes, and somewhere along the way, you stopped. Not because of one big moment, because of 100 small ones. A little more urgency, one more trip to the bathroom at 2 a.m., one more mental note about where the restroom is. It happened slowly enough that it just became you. But it's not you. It's enlarged prostate, and there's a treatment called aquablation therapy, the only ultrasound-guided robotic-assisted therapy for enlarged prostate. Find an aquablation therapist near you. Call Aquablation Seattle at 206-666-2466, 206-666-2466. That's 206-666-2466. All surgical treatments carry risks, and results may vary. Side effects may include urinary symptoms, mild pain, ejaculatory dysfunction, or infection. In rare cases, complications to the urethra and rectum may occur. Aquablation therapy may not be right for everyone. Talk to your urologist to learn more. Visit aquablationseattle.com.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
ZipRecruiter. Spring is a season homeowners start improving their homes. Hi, Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors. If your home needs roofing, siding, new windows, gutters, or decking, our team can take care of it all. For a limited time, save up to $3,000 on a new roof, siding, deck, or windows project. Planning multiple upgrades? Combine your projects and save even more. Or with 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest up to 24 months. You can start your project now and pay later. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com.
Home Comfort Alliance, a Carrier factory authorized dealer delivering efficiency, reliability, and quiet performance every time. John Curley here. Upgrade to Carrier cooling and get a heating system free. Use their 60-second price estimator at homecomfortalliance.com.
The John Curley Show mailbag is brought to you by Advanced Hair Restoration.
Thanks, Advanced Hair. Hudson, we don't even have... That's about it for you. We'll get the letter of the day. First, take care of all the rest.
Dennis in Seattle says, Nicole, I was having problems with my typewriter yesterday. Can you give me your egg recipe again?
Mickey Delaney says, where's your tie, John? I don't want to overdo it.
Leon Holloway says, I'm glad to see John is still in the area today after yesterday's joke. The joke was hilarious. I know there had to be a meeting after that one.
Nobody picked it up, which means management's not here. Peacocks and Empathy, Brian K. says, here, John. Thanks for that story. Okay,
Sue in Tacoma says, love your commentary. I'd like to call the condition that has gripped Washington foolish compassion, sometimes well-intended but very foolishly carried out.
425, love when the show train wrecks. Love when a show train wrecks.
When the show train wrecks.
Love when a show train wrecks.
Train wrecks. Train wreck as a verb. The show train wrecks.
And now it is time for the
This is a great example. Oh, boy. Matt in Ravensdale says...
Oh, my God.
I love your new segment, Joe's Hole. You guys need to keep that up as a daily part of the show. You know, they say necessity is a driving force behind innovation and curiosity behind discovery. I mean, where would we be if Einstein wasn't curious about the true nature of the universe or Galileo hadn't wondered about those lights in the sky? That's why I need to keep probing that hole of Joe's. Who knows what discoveries will be found in the dark depths of Joe's Hole. We might find that Elon Musk is actually trying to imprison us on this planet by launching so many Starlink satellites that it'll be unsafe to launch anything into space without first coordinating with him, so satellites can be rerouted, giving us safe route in and out of Earth orbit. So for the sake of humanity, please keep the hole open and probe its depths daily, because inquiring minds are curious and need to know what's in there.
Joe's Hole. Okay. Thank you for that, Matt in Ravensdale.
That's all she wrote.
That's it. It's not right anymore. There's a lot left we didn't get to. There's apparently the train wreck show.
Oh, my.
All right. Here's Nate checking traffic. Nathan.
Thank you, Johnny. Seattle Sports has our update. Bellevue to Everett has gone down to an hour 5. Still solid between Kirkland and Canyon Park. Gets real thick there at 124th into Bothell. Seattle to Everett, 45 minutes. Still scattered slowing from Northgate into Mill Creek. South 5 into Seattle. A brief backup here in downtown between 520 and 990. Less than 25 minutes from Linwood to Seattle. There is a little slowing in Shoreline to get through as well. Crossing the lake from Bellevue to Seattle will take you a half hour on both bridge routes. Bellevue to Renton, a half hour. Federal Way to Tacoma, 20 minutes, but it's slow from 320th all the way into Tacoma. And we've got that fire in North Tacoma, and drivers are slowing down on I-5 to check it out. Fire crews have the upper hand, so you just need to avoid that surrounding area until we get the all clear. Download the Seattle Sports app to stay in the know with the latest news, scores, and opinions about your favorite teams. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Chokepoints with Chris Sullivan.
With Chokepoints, we try to answer listeners' questions. It can be as simple as a neighborhood stop sign, or it can be as big as the budget for transportation. I don't care. I'll find the answer for you. It's really easy to get a hold of me at mynorthwest.com. We have a direct link there that gets right to me. You can also do it in the app. You can hit me up on the text line.
Chokepoints, presented by Carter Subaru. Tuesdays and Thursdays on KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM.
Olympic Hot Tub has more ways than ever to achieve total wellness at home. Immerse yourself in a saltwater hot spring spa and let jets melt stress away. Enjoy a refreshing swim in an endless pool swim spa. Retreat to healing warmth and detox in a Tilo sauna. Then awaken mind and body with a cold plunge. You'll be saying, in no time. Your path to wellness starts today at Olympic Hot Tub. Current specials with exciting savings at OlympicHotTub.com. Better you, better life.
Wait! Before you change the station, listen to this.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate your car at carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K. Pickup is quick and easy. You'll also get a vacation voucher and a tax deduction.
1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
From whiplash to herniated discs, there are a few car accident injuries we've all heard of. JP Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains that even the most common injuries differ from one another.
Pre-existing conditions, health history, beginning of treatment. There are hundreds of factors that make every person and every injury unique. While these variables aid medical treatment, the strongest case recoveries must also take them into account.
Could you explain a little bit more?
Our team at Pendergast Law is obsessed with turning over every stone to differentiate each case. This requires thorough investigation, diligent listening, and relentless research. We never pursue cases with a one-size-fits-all approach. We built our success by treating every injury and every case with the individualized attention our clients need and deserve.
Pendergast Law's individualized approach to even the most common injuries makes the difference in case outcomes. It's another reason why I can't recommend them enough.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
Your old furnace ain't nice, and your toes are like ice.
DayandNight.net.
This month, Day and Night gives you a free furnace with the installation of an AC or heat pump.
If you're not sure your furnace will make it through another winter, call us to install a proper, long-lasting, efficient heating system backed by our lifetime workmanship guarantee, so you won't be left out in the cold.
Install an AC or heat pump and get a free furnace from Day and Night Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electric.
DayandNight.net.
G and Ursula on KIRO News Radio.
You're not going to be able to stop what's going to happen.
I hope he's successful.
9 to noon, streaming live on your smart speaker.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Patrick was way behind on his IRS taxes.
I was in way over my head. The total amount ended up being somewhere just over $30,000. $30,000.
Then the IRS came to collect.
Started getting letter after letter. A lien had been filed against me. They were going to basically hang me completely out to dry.
He had to do something.
That's when I reached out to Optima Tax Relief.
Patrick's life quickly got a lot easier.
It was very easy, pretty much hands off. They picked up the ball and ran with it.
And how'd it go?
I couldn't believe it. I had to ask 2 or 3 times. I saved an incredible amount of money.
How does Patrick feel about Optima?
Couldn't be happier. They definitely helped me. Optima Tax Relief, the best place to call. They're the best in the business.
Do what Patrick did and call Optima Tax Relief for a free consultation. Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. Optima Tax Relief. Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
G. Scott here. Safeway wants you to know some bucks gives